quick aside before the video starts, this video was recorded all the way back 2 weeks after the release, so this was before the DLC was announced and everything else. This video is very outdated, but I had to get it up because life sucks. Alright, bye. Hello everyone, welcome to the Pointing Out the Obvious channel, and I have with me today Iggyminious.
Once again, hi.
Yeah, we are here once again to well, not quickly, but talk about our thoughts on Sonic Frontiers, the first mainline Sonic game since Sonic Forces in 2017, which was a meteoric disappointment. Which
Time sure flies, eh?
I think it flies the most for us, considering we weren't really invested in the franchise when the games came out, unlike everybody else.
I've only been waiting at most like 4 years, so
I've only been waiting.
I had the other games to buy for me to bide my time with in that period, so.
I had about. I got back into Sonic in like 2019, I want to say. Like around the time of the movie, but like the second movie trailer. So near the end of 2019 is when I finally got back into Sonic again. So it hasn't been that long of a wait for me. I played Forces in retrospect, knowing it was gonna be bad. Zero hype. So into Frontiers, I actually went in pretty positive, and I think so did you, right?
Yeah, I think something I want to say that I don't think I got across earlier. A lot of people were really let down by the infamous June 1st trailer. I wasn't. I think in retrospect, I can explain why I wasn't really let down by it.
Oh yeah, hit me.
Even though I did see some problems, like when a lot of people were really excited by the Game Awards trailer in December. I was kind of on the fence with it because it felt like the aesthetics were just aping off every open world game ever, and I was kind of worried it was going to be another Shadow or Lost World where they just completely derailed the main series to jump on what's trendy. But when I saw the June 1st trailer, I think my mind changed a bit, because in terms of like how it played and how it flowed, it did feel a lot like the previous games, which kind of led on to me that this game feels like an evolution and not a needless detour. And that pretty much informed how I feel about it now. Like, it has problems, but I can sense that they're actually trying to evolve the series.
For me, I didn't have any opinion on the game because there was no gameplay. I was like, I can't be excited or disappointed if there's no gameplay. Like, I saw Sonic and I saw the world in that initial like December Game Awards trailer. I saw Sonic, I saw the world. Obviously I was like, oh, okay. It's like, I think I said in my initial video, which I still stand by, a lot's writing on this fucking game.
I saved that video to my computer, just so you know. That was too funny.
Because, like, that's how I felt. It's like, shut up. There's a lot writing on this. Because there was. If this game was also as bad as Forces, or just slightly better, it would be proof that Sonic needs to not be at Sonic Team. I mean, these guys do not have a vision. They had time this time, and they still couldn't come up with anything interesting or anything worthwhile. And that means maybe it's time to retire the brand. Retire the brand or give it to somebody else. It's like that's what it would mean. Even if Sonic would still be alive, it would just would be a sour note.
Like,
but when the game, when the June 1st footage came out, when gameplay came out, unlike everyone else who was like, because a lot of people were excited, or at least feeling positive, or at least like wanting something from it, and like everyone was like, "Oh no, it looks terrible." But the thing is, I watched it in complete silence in complete silence in a class, all right, with no sound. I wasn't looking at chat, so I couldn't see anyone else's reactions. So I was in a complete bubble. And my first reaction, oh, thank God it doesn't look terrible.
Yeah. That is something I was actually thinking when we first learned it was open world. Like, I thought the worst case scenario could genuinely be Sonic Boom Rise of Weird levels of bad.
Worst case scenario, the game could have been absolute dog water, bro. It could have been terrible.
Yeah.
Oh man. But we got lucky.
And it is kind of weird thinking about it, going through the whole cycle, since I don't think there's any precedent for some. There isn't really any precedent for Sonic Frontiers pre-release cycle leading up to how the game actually turned out. Because either it looks promising all the way through and the game ends up good, or it starts out promising but then starts to look worse with more trailers and then the game turns out not very good.
Sometimes it starts off bad and it just continues to be bad. In my opinion, that's what Forces was. Forces was people. That was the worst. The reason why people got so burned by Forces is because all the signs were there. They weren't hiding that the game was this. The game just was that, and everyone ignored it. And that's why it was the worst.
Yeah,
and that's why and that's why everyone went into this one so negative and ready to lose.
I think the point is that this one, I think, surprised a lot of people in a positive way.
Oh yeah, definitely. It even surprised casuals in a positive way. Because everyone thought this game looked bad except for like me and you and like young children.
but then people who aren't even really big Sonic people get their hands on it and think it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like they don't think it's amazing. They just think, this is decent. It's good. It's good. The thing is, I always hate the term. It's like the first good Sonic game since Sonic Adventure 2, and I'm like, I gotta remember, not everyone's played Generations. It's like we are past the last good Sonic game was Sonic Adventure 2. We are so past it, but I have to just bare my teeth and deal with it. At least it's better than people saying the only good Sonic games were the classics.
I think the Forces Aftermath did kind of do a lot to.
The thing is,
have people reevaluate that.
I don't even think it did. Because the thing is, you think casuals played Forces?
I think in the time between Boom and Forces, people were turning on every 3D Sonic game that came out. Every 3D Sonic game that ever made. Suddenly, Adventure 2 is not good anymore. But then after Forces, people would start giving these older games another chance.
It's like, I think the Adventure 2 isn't very good narrative. Isn't particularly a new one. That one happened. People love.
I guess I can't prove that since I'm a relatively fresh Sonic fan. But
as someone who has been here for a while. That mentality that Adventure 2 wasn't very good isn't a new idea. It people like to blame Johnny, some call me Johnny and Pro Jared. Adventure fans love pointing the finger and going you guys are the ones that made everyone hate the adventure games. It's you guys. It's no, they told their opinion about the game, especially Johnny, who played these games when he was younger too, and he just came with his honest opinion. And it's and the narrative that only one third of the game is good and all that other stuff. And I think it was more these opinions, especially if you talk to Geek Critique, these opinions always existed. It's just that they were usually restricted to forums and stuff. They were usually usually people would just be talking and going yeah. It's when SA2 came out for the Dreamcast, There was a split in the fan base immediately.
And I guess the internet is a little more prevalent now.
So like these opinions just became more widespread, but the opinions already existed that like Sonic Adventure 2 wasn't very good, but like, you know, a lot of people still love Sonic Adventure 2, especially since a lot of them, it was their first Sonic game, so a lot of the problems that older Sonic fans had, like why is Tails in a mech, treasure hunting, why is this in my Sonic game, why is this a Sonic game if I'm not playing as Sonic, a lot of those complaints kind of fell to the wayside when it's your first one. Because you're not going to have such a concrete standard of what Sonic should be, and so
I've been thinking. I kind of want to bring this back to Frontiers.
Oh yeah, we were talking about a pre-release.
I feel like I have a kind of clever way of doing it that basically encapsulates how I feel about it. Like, all these previous Sonic games have like the issue of why am I not playing as Sonic for like 70% of the time. Why am I playing as a werewolf for 70% of the time? And thinking back to it, writing the video, I feel like a lot of this is just kind of stems from how stems from all the way back in Sonic Adventure. Even back then, it was just really hard to sustain the core like Sonic gameplay, so they just threw a bunch of stuff in, but I think why Frontiers ranks so high for me is that it manages to be like not quite the 20-30 hour game they were saying it was, but pretty long, and it doesn't even feel like it's trying. It doesn't feel like it's padding itself out or.
Well, that ending. The last island is a little bit of bad.
Well, here's the thing about the last island. Yes, they split Kronos, but at the same time, Oranos doesn't have any real overlap with Kronos.
Oh yeah, no, it doesn't.
It's not like Sonic Colors where Tropical Resort Act 4 is just a section of Act 1 again. Like, they share the same aesthetics, but they're different.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, dude. By the way, I like Oranos, like, a lot. I'm just like, they did pad out the game just a little bit. Just a little bit. Especially with some of those memory token requirements near the end there. Like, it's the only time where I got to the end of a section and I explored most of the world and still felt like I had to do more. And I'm like, Bruh, dude, I like at that point, it wasn't like the game's fault. Like, I was enjoying the game, but I was streaming, and I'm like, bro, I gotta wrap this up tonight. So I just went to Big's Fishing.
and bought a bunch of stage memory tokens.
Yeah. Just bought the rest of the memory tokens.
That's honestly what I did, too. I think what they could have done to avoid that was, like, maybe reduce the requirement, but also, as a trade-off, take out those treasure chests that give you 8 memory tokens.
No, I think they should have added just one or a few more of those. A few more. Because the thing is, because on Oranos, you run into so little of them.
Well, the thing is, it messes with the pacing because oftentimes you have to go through a big platforming challenge just to get one memory token, but then with the treasure chest, you do one side loop, bam, 8 tokens. Either they should have made the treasure chests harder to get to, or just taken them out and reduced the memory token requirements.
Yeah. Well, let's we're talking about literally the end of the game, so let's rewind a little bit. And it's like, so I like just quick short paragraph review. I like the game a lot. I'm fighting myself on whether giving it a 9 or an 8. I'm landing on 8. I'm landing on 8 for a few key things, but this game could easily be a 9 if I get the PC version and download some mods. Easy 9.
I played the Switch version, and I don't know if I want to share the Switch version experience. It was playable, it ran alright, there were some dips here and there, I think, but
just be glad it runs.
I don't know, it felt like it reached 60 frames per second at some points, but according to Digital Foundry, it doesn't.
Yeah, it's 30.
Maybe it's just something with the console I was using or the TV I was using. I don't know.
Yeah, nah. Digital Foundry was like,
Playing
nah.
tricks.
The thing is, what I do like, Digital Foundry disproved that the game ran at 1080p 30 on PS5. Because I was like, 1080p 60. Because I was like, oh, that's kind of embarrassing. They couldn't get the game to run at anything but higher than 1080p.
But as it turns out, it's like a dynamic 1800,
which is like not bad. That's like not bad at all.
It's yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay.
What's your excuse, Gotham Knights?
Yeah, exactly. Can't even get 30 on that bitch.
What else?
But yeah, no.
The Switch version was, but I think my overall rating lands at 9 out of 10. You saw my tier list. I still haven't posted my tier list on Twitter, but maybe that'll be irrelevant in the next few days.
Yeah.
I think I would put it in S tier, but at the bottom of S tier. Like, I wish I could put it higher, but it kind of falls into the same boat as like Generations, but slightly worse, where it does a lot right, but I don't think it quite does everything right in every area that I want it to, in the same way that I think something like Sonic Adventure 2 does.
Oh, you saw my tier list where I decided to put SA2.
Yeah. different strokes.
Yeah. It's like, oh man. But it's like, yeah. No, I totally get that. This game really, the thing is, it's like the reason why this game is so interesting in terms of like reception is that you could have two people next to each other play the exact same game, and then then go like, oh man, that was a 9 out of 10, amazing experience, and then literally have the next person tell you it was the worst thing they've ever played. It's like,
honestly, my opinion could change, but for me, I don't see it getting any lower than an 8 out of 10. I feel like it doesn't. The low points aren't quite as low as they are in something like Sonic Heroes or even Colors, maybe.
The thing is with this game, the low points for me, it's like are a lot higher than I thought they were, and even though it's not an excuse, I can't act like some of the low points didn't. The low points are cyberspace. Cyberspace are the low points. They're
well, I still had fun with them.
I know. I felt dirty, dude. I felt dirty enjoying myself. I was like, ha, I'm having a good time. No, I'm having a good time with cyberspace.
But it's weird how we're kind of bringing up the last portion of the game, but I feel like the last island kind of redeemed cyberspace somewhat for me, because throughout most of the game, they've been recycling old level layouts, but with the last island, it felt like they let go of the training wheels and tried applying what they learned to their own stages, and it worked. They were surprisingly a lot of fun.
Yeah, besides 4-1, every single cyberspace stage, there's
wasn't there one that I think was based off Chemical Plant Act 1 from Generations? But aside from in Uranos, yes.
I think there was like one that was like slightly, but like it was so different in so many other places that like I could barely call it the same level.
Yeah, but for the most part they were original, and I've been saying this, if the cyberspace stages were going to be Force's tier level design, then I would rather have them recycle stages, but the last island cyberspace stages were way above Force's.
Oh yeah, no, there was like a lot of fun stuff, and the thing is, what I like about the cyberspace stages, the reason why some of them are so janky is because they give you more freedom than your average boost game. Like, there's less invisible walls everywhere. There's less automation. There's still automation, but there's less of it. And it's weird, because then sometimes it feels weird. It doesn't help that you're super slow and everything. But, like, there's, like, loops you can just skip, you know?
Yeah.
There we go. Sorry, I just got the S in 1-2.
I think I think the cyberspace stages only really annoyed me when I was going for S ranks. Some of them were pretty tough. Like there was one on I think Chaos Island that was based off Act Sky Sanctuary Act 2, the 3D parts. That one was really tough for me. Although I did go back to it later, and I think S rank did in only a few tries.
Yeah, 1-2 is definitely the hardest.
Oh yeah, that's a different one, but that one,
Yeah.
I don't know. That one is so sadistic that
It's
I
like,
kind of love it.
yeah, I know, dude. I wish all of them were like that. I wish all of them were that hard.
I guess it would have kind of interrupted the game flow.
It would have, but like, man, it would have made those S works feel, because especially considering when you get all 4 challenges, you get 7. You get 7 if you keys, right?
That is what I think. That's one kind of issue with the overall game. The balancing is kind of whack.
Oh,
I already mentioned.
is whack.
I already mentioned the memory token thing, but I also feel like they should have only given you 1 extra key as opposed to 3
Dude,
for beating all the missions, or even none at all, because getting all 4 keys is kind of its own reward.
yeah.
So
because the thing is,
but if they were gonna do that, they also should have reduced the vault key requirements for the Chaos Emeralds.
the thing is, it's like the reason why, like, I understand why it's there, but like, it's to reward you. It makes you want to go out of your way. But the problem is that you see me, I just did a level 1 run of this game. I've beaten, just for reference, I think you've only beaten the game once. I've beaten the game 3 times in the last week. I played it. I 100%ed it on my first playthrough. Mostly on stream. I didn't do the last part on stream, but I did. But I did most of the 100%ing on stream, which was like about like 25-ish hours. I did a quick rushed playthrough, skipping all the cutscenes, just playing through the game, doing the bare minimum to see what would happen. Beat it in about 8 hours, rushing through it, and then I just did a level 1 run, which for those who don't know what that means, I basically did not upgrade my attack or defense or ring capacity. I upgraded my speed because that doesn't make the game easier. It just makes the game faster. But like, because they did not have a super epic mega hard mode, which is all I want as DLC for this game. I just want a hard mode and boss rush. Give me more.
If 06 could do it, why can't this game?
Yeah, it's like, because I just played the game on level 1, and I had a great time. But like, how I got through it so quickly was I just was 100%ing the cyberspace stages. And you only need to do about 3 cyberspace stages per level, per area if you 100% them, because it's just they're that generous.
So question, maybe you said this, but did you get any of the extra skills in your level 1 playthrough?
Yes, I did, because it was I wanted to experience. Basically, what I wanted to do was experience the combat with real without being over leveled, because by the end of the game I felt so over leveled because like enemies were just bleeding health that I never got to do any of the cool stuff I wanted to do with the combat. So I was like, okay, let me limit myself but still get the skills, and it was an amazing it was awesome. The last island was hard, man. Like, the enemies were giving me a run for my money, but it was so fun. It was so fun. I was having an amazing time. Just a blast. I recommend it. And anyone who felt that the game was a little too easy, yeah, I recommend doing a level 1 run.
I forget what power and defense levels I was at the end of the game my playthrough. I think it was around 30-ish.
I was in the 50s. I was in the 50s by the end.
I mean, maybe it was higher, but that's kind of what I remembered. It wasn't that high. I didn't really spend my fishing stuff on red seeds of power, blue seeds of defense.
I didn't do that till the end of the game, and then that's how I got 100% for max.
Yeah.
Just spend all night, just go fishing. That's the way to 100% the game. Just go fishing. It saves you a lot of time.
I will say, but I will say, besides beating the game, I have gone back to map most of. I have tried going back to map the islands. I'm almost done with it. I still have a little bit of ways to go with Oranos, but I've 100% mapped the others.
All right. You know, since we're talking about the maps, what was your favorite map? And what was your least favorite?
I feel like I kind of want to say Ares is the best, but I don't know if it's my favorite because my personal experience was spent retreading a lot of the same ground. But that could just be kind of a skill issue.
Yeah, that could be. It's like, because at least in my opinion, when it comes to Ares, I think this game, the thing is, a lot of people are are gonna. This is why I want to wait for a full video to really go into it. But like, the world is really well designed in terms of pushing you forward on the narrative path. Like, it's very, very designed around you playing the narrative properly. It's like so like if you are playing the game as intended,
as intended.
It's like if you're not like going off the beaten path and like what you can do. It's an open zone game. You can do whatever you want, but you can't. When we get into the story, a lot of complaints people had was the pacing. And then I just played through the game on the level 1, and I played it pretty close to how the game is designed to be played, basically. I went through stuff. When it said talk to Knuckles and I had enough memory tokens, I went and did that. When it said get a Chaos Emerald, I did. I basically played the game as intended, didn't do a lot of extra shit, especially since I wasn't doing any puzzles. By the way, on the level 1 map run, I did an extra thing. I had no map. I did no map. I was just running. I was just navigating it myself, which was fun in its own right.
I kind of wish the game had a mini-map, but that's kind of a little note.
That's funny, because I remember before the game came out, you were worried about waypoints and stuff, and like, oh man, I don't want to know where to go.
That's... I actually didn't mind it as much when I was actually playing it, because...
It's non-intrusive. It's non-intrusive. The thing is, so before you get into it, one thing I do love is the thing with the HUD. You could turn off so much of it if you just don't like it, which is what I ended up doing on my second playthrough. I just turned off a lot of the HUD, and right now I'm actually playing with no HUD right now because I just don't need it. Like, the HUD is good; it gives you all the information you need, but goddamn, is it cluttering, man?
Yeah.
It clutters a lot. But
I mean, thinking about it, the one thing to me that kind of seemed unnecessary was the level thing in the bottom left, because you don't really need to see that all the time, but it's kind of nitpicky.
Yeah.
Can I get into what I want to say?
Yeah, go for it.
I think the thing about waypoints and favorite and least favorite islands kind of converges onto Chaos Island. I know it's kind of a normie pick as the least favorite island, but well, I didn't hate it, but it was probably the weakest island in the game.
For me, like Chaos Island, it's like Chaos Island again. Like I said, like because I was playing through it without like going out of my way to do stuff early or explore or go the wrong way on purpose. I actually just did what the game told me to do a lot on Chaos Island and Ares. And that led to me realizing, oh, they literally just point you in the direction of the Blue Emerald if you just play. It's like everyone, like I've seen so many people that go, where is it? How do you find it? And there's two ways to do it.
Here's the thing. I think the thing about Chaos Island is that I kind of got the emeralds out of order. I played a bunch of the cyberspace stages and and opened up a lot of the emerald vaults at once. I think I got the yellow emerald first. The thing about the blue emerald is that it's not hard to know where it is, but
it's hard to figure out how to get there.
How to cross that gap is between islands is really.
It's the thing is with it, which is funny about it, is that it there's two ways to get there. There's the cool way, and then there's the dev intended way. You could take the cool way is taking a bird.
I think that's what I ended up doing.
Yeah, I did that on my.
That was what you were supposed to do. But what is the dev intended way?
The dev intended way is pretty easy. There's an island right next to the blue island. Go to the rails that take you there, and then there's a rail from that island to the blue island right there. That's it. That's all you have to do.
I think that's what I tried, but I couldn't find the rails to get to that small island
it's
either.
Like, the reason why, because the thing is, it's like I know this is the hot take. I didn't hate any of the islands in the game. I didn't, because like everyone has like.
Well, yeah, neither did I. But...
Yeah. It's like most people at least like have like a strong disdain for at least one. And like some people it's the last island, some people it's the last two, some people it's just chaos. It's like, and I did not have that feeling because with chaos, I thought it was interesting. Like I know people go like, oh, 2D island, I can't believe it, they're running out of ideas. This is just, it's like for me, it didn't feel like they were running out of ideas. It feels like a purposeful design choice. It didn't feel like, oh, we got lazy. Because it's not like the 2D sections are...
They could have designed those in 3D, but they didn't.
Yeah, it's like because it's not like any of the stuff... Because if you can break the 2D sections by just coming in at a different angle and not doing it in the intended way.
Just play like 3D sections?
Yeah, they just play normally. It's an intended design choice. It's like it didn't feel like a budgetary issue in a game which obviously had a budgetary issue by the end of it. I think that it... more than enough made up for it.
I made like a short earlier today saying that I think Sonic Team had like had pretty substantial, at least more substantial than the 60 people claim people keep throwing around. Maybe it's not the greatest for modern AAA standards, but I don't think the team size was the issue. My personal belief is that the issue was that they had no idea what they were doing. Like, there isn't really much frame of reference for a game like this.
They basically...
Like, taking a platformer into an open zone. Like, Bowser's Fury didn't exist when they were starting development.
Yeah. And
they went through a lot of trial and error to...
Also, what they did... basically, what I feel they ended up making... in its final incarnation... really big Sonic 64.
Yeah.
That's basically what they ended up making. They just ended up making a really big Sonic 64.
Fair assessment.
And I think they could. It's like, which is like, it's hard. It's like, and they openly stated that like, the game went back to the drawing board a few times. We may have started development a long time ago, but we did not start development up until like 2 or 3 years ago. Like that's when we finally had a clear vision of what we were doing.
Yeah.
But like even besides that, I think that I think that the amount of people who worked on this game, while large for Sonic Team, was still not equipped for the game they were making.
And they said that they're like hiring more people not too long ago.
Yeah.
Which I could be wrong, but seems to imply that they're interested in growing the team more for the next game.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I hope it works out. But like it really is with this game just as like someone made a tweet. Say Sonic Team doesn't hate Sonic. Sonic fans don't hate Sonic. Critics, most of the time, don't seem to hate Sonic. But Sega does.
Yeah,
why is that? It's like, why is it like this? Why does it always feel like their premier franchise is never getting the premier treatment? Why does it always feel like we're fighting for fucking scraps? It's like
and you could say it's been this way since like the mid-90s.
Yes, so. It's like it's been this way since they had to rush Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Because you think Sonic Team wanted to rush it? No. Sega rushed Sonic 3 and Knuckles to come out when it wasn't supposed to come out yet. They wanted to make that brand deal, not Sonic Team. Sonic Team just wanted to make a game. Yeah. So this is like ever since, and even with Sonic 2 having to come out within a freaking year, it's like as we've always said. I don't know if we've said it on this if I said it on this channel, but every Sonic game is rushed. Even the ones you like, even the good ones are rushed. They all have some sort of cut content, missed potential, something that just didn't happen, not because of artistic intent, but because they literally just did not have enough time given to them by the publisher. And it's been like this forever. And it's like, why?
Why you gotta do me like this?
Why? Why did Sonic Adventure 2 come out in like 2 years? Why did Sonic Adventure come out in like 10 months? Why? But getting back to Chaos Island a little bit. I think why I like it so much is that it's the island. It's the only island really that you have to think your way around. And I think a lot of people don't like it.
That's kind of what I want to say. A lot of people aren't a fan of how obtuse the progression is, but I do think some people could dig it. Like, I think, and it's fitting for like the third island. You kind of get the gist of how the game works. Now they're throwing curveball at you with the progression.
Also, people go like, "Oh, I hate being locked into a 2D section," and it's like, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. It's really easy to get out of a 2D section in the Chaos Island.
Well, sometimes it's really easy, but other times
there's like a few of them that are really long, and you have to go through the full thing. But those are like set piece ones, or like, and then when they're not set pieces, are pretty rare, all things considered. Yeah. At least when the amount of time I ran into them, because
I don't hate Chaos Island on the whole, but I feel like. I feel like you could argue it's this game's labyrinth zone, in that they'll probably change up the concepts for the next game.
If they do attempt it again, that something in that style, they'll probably go like, well, I guess this is since this is like the common complaint. Let's see if we can figure out a way to make this harder, because I think that was their way of making it harder. Like, oh, the design is a little bit more obtuse. It's not, because Kronos and Ares are very much point A to point B. If you see something, you just run towards it. You're not usually having to figure out how you get there. It's just, oh yeah, I'll figure it out as I'm running, which is fun. I'm not gonna say that isn't fun, but if you want to increase difficulty, it's like, but you don't want to make it unfair. Just change how hard it is to progress in terms of like where you have to go. And I think Chaos Island delivers on that. But I do know it's going to be everyone's like least favorite level. It's going to be like, oh, okay, especially because it ends on pinball.
Oh, the pinball wasn't that hard from my experience. I got like a 128 times bonus on the first ball, and I got pretty close to 5 million points that way.
Oh, you didn't even get to 256? That's the final stopping point.
Yeah. I managed to get it on the first try, I think.
Dang. It took me a few tries. And even on constant replays, it still takes me a few tries. But my first time getting in there, I don't like pinball. I'm not a pinball guy. I think I've made that pretty clear. It's why Casino Night Zone does absolutely nothing for me. But I found it so funny, so adorable that they put pinball there. Like, after Chaos Island, you're doing all this stuff, you're about to fight the final boss, like, you've done puzzles, and this has been probably the most, the hardest island so far, and then Tails is like, alright, you gotta go in there and do it, and it's like, alright, I'll be in and out. The story tension has been pretty high for a while, Sage is obviously developing, Tails has gone through some, Tails is reevaluating his character, and saying fuck you to the writers of Forces, and then, and Sonic's going through hell, and it's like, and then it's just like, all right, now here's some fucking pinball. It's so funny to me. It's just like, so
those
funny.
end of those like puzzles you do right before the Titans are just so whack. Like the first one is this
That was the hardest puzzle.
a major puzzle that feels like could have come out of Professor Layton game, but the second one is just matching colored balls to colored
put
holes.
the square peg in the square hole. Can you do it? And the thing is, you can see the difference if like people who play puzzle games and people who don't. People who play puzzle games are like, what? Oh, I mean, that was like easy. It's a simple puzzle. It's like, dude, I was on that for like half an hour. I still take forever on that puzzle. Because
the first puzzle did take me a while, but I did manage to do it without a guide, so that's
I
good.
never looked up a guide for this game. I never looked up a guide once. I always figured out everything myself.
Yeah,
even for 100%, I never looked up a guide. I just did it everything myself. It was great. It was great and better that way. But I know a lot of people who definitely looked up a guide for that and the Blue Emerald, because there's two guides that are the most viewed for this game. How to do the puzzle in the puzzle at the end of the graveyard puzzle, and then how to find the red and blue emeralds in Chaos Island. Which really, the red emerald is super easy to get. It's just locked behind story progression. Which one emerald on Ares, Chaos, and Ranos, there is one emerald that's always locked behind story progression. But the thing is, because it's not like that in Chronos, most people don't realize that. You know? They just play the game, and then they're like, why can't I get that emerald? I'm really trying to get that emerald, and why can't I get it? And it's like, because you just gotta do this Knuckles cutscene. Why can't I? You just need to talk to Tails. It'll will open a whole pathway for you. But why? But why can't?
Well,
it's rough for some people to figure it out. Come to terms with the fact that they have to do story to progress the game.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, go on. Sorry, you were gonna say something.
I kind of want to use the pre-Titan puzzles to lead into the Titan fights themselves.
Oh yeah, no, peak. No, best bosses in this entire franchise. Not in terms of mechanics. Mechanically, they're all very simple, but they deliver on the spectacle.
Even mechanically, they're the best supersonic boss fights.
Oh yeah, mechanically they're better than every single supersonic. What's the best supersonic boss fight? Unleashed, Sonic 3. Because I don't think any of the adventure games are
baby
very
cakes
good.
compared to Frontiers.
Yeah, all of them are baby cakes. Because you know what? In Sonic Unleashed, imagine if Sonic Unleashed you actually fought Dark Gaia instead of watching Chip do it. Yeah, no, you still watch Chip do it in the Wii version because you still Chip. You're not Supersonic.
I remember fighting Giganto and. I was in a room with a couple of my brothers and we were all shouting "Game of the Year."
It's like, oh.
Like this is the one thing that makes thinking about a Frontier sequel tricky. They are never going to be able to recreate that
because it's such because they hid it in the advertising. They hid it, and even if you watch the leaked video that was going around of the Giganto boss fight,
did not do it justice
because there was no music. You know, there was no music. It's like you couldn't hear it very well. You couldn't. It's like and then also the guy was like level 1, so he wasn't really doing anything. So the boss, and he wasn't using any of his skills. So the boss looked really repetitive. The thing is, what I find really funny is that a lot of people are so used, Sonic fan or not, are so used to things like Supersonic taking away the things that you could do normally. That people just start mashing square, thinking that's all they can do. It takes them a while to realize, like, wait, my Phantom Rush is here. Does that mean I can?
Is here.
Wait a second. Does that mean I can? Oh, I'm just Sonic, but super powered. Oh, It's like, and then once you realize you have all the tools that you had in normal gameplay, you're like, oh, these are awesome. They also become a lot easier and a lot quicker, but they also, you're just like, oh,
like that cinematic for when you pull off the Grand Slam with like the million images of Supersonic all charging at him.
Amazing. No. The Titan boss fights are such a highlight. Such a highlight. The thing is, I saw a funny tweet, which is like it's not true, but it's like in a Famitsu article. Kishimoto was asked how they were going to top the Titan boss fights for Sonic Frontiers 2, and he just put his hands up and said, "Fuck if I know," and left the interview. And it's like, yeah, no, bro. It's like you cannot top that. It's like because the thing is, it's like every fight in this game felt like the Supersonic ones felt like a final boss in any other Sonic game.
By that,
it's like to the point where they had to create a new type of final boss.
yeah.
Oh man, but like it's like which a lot of people are not a fan of. I think it was good.
They had to lock it behind hard mode for some reason. I don't know why they couldn't have made it easier, like give you more lives or something for normal mode. But
no. They gotta make it for the real Chads. They gotta make it for those who went out of their way. Cause nah, man, that final boss is hard. It deserves to be locked behind hard mode.
Yeah, it did take me a few tries.
Like it's not like it's easy.
And it's really long, so it's kind of
it's a challenge. You are fighting for your life in that one, man. I will never say it's like people will say, man, Kishimoto hates difficulty, bro. I don't know about that anymore. Not after this game. There was a few things in this game that were a little difficult that I will not deny.
I remember there was like one platforming section on Oranos Island that's like a wall jumping section, and there are spikes moving up and down. I was like saying to myself, this is probably the hardest wall jumping section in any Sonic game I've played.
Dude, Rhea. Okay, the thing is, let me talk about my favorite islands. I never got to talk about mine. I never talked about mine. My favorite island is probably Rhea. It's not.
Hey, hold that thought for a second.
Oh, okay.
You're saying about Rhea?
Sounded like you just fought someone off screen.
but maybe I did, but like, I kind of wish Rhea was the final island in the game. It feels like such a climactic final stretch that gives Cannon's Core and Eggman Land run for their money.
I feel that like that Rhea is so good, man. Because the thing is,
it's like 6 entire Sonic levels in one on one island.
Dude, the reason why I like it because it's such a skill check. It literally is a skill check level. It's just like, all right, let's test you on your platforming and speed. Like, let's see what you learn. Because each one has a gimmick. There's a combat one. There's a combat platforming one, a 3D platforming one, a 2D one, a grinding one, a 2D grinding one. It's like they all have a gimmick, and I like that because it's like, once I was playing it, I was realizing, oh, it's a skill check. Oh, if it's a skill check, this is good. Like, this is like a good idea. It's kind of a waste of an area. It's a waste of an area considering the area looks really good. But like, it's like, and it's obviously like, we need to cut corners. It's such an obvious we need to cut corners. But I think they made up for it with how tense I was, dude. I was so tense that entire time.
I agree, and you find out more of the backstory. Like, do you think? I will ask. Do you think if they like tweak the story a bit, if Rhea was the final island and Oranos came before it somehow, do you think that would have been better, or?
Nah. It's like it's hard to say because then you miss out on a lot of the stuff that is on Oranos.
Like what?
All the stuff with Sage where she's basically explaining the lore of the game.
Yeah.
You miss out on.
But I was saying if you like tweak the story a bit.
I guess if you make it where like defeating that third Titan, but then why would defeating the third Titan release the walls between dimensions to get the end out? And then you'd have to do more than tweak the story. The story just have to be completely different. Like it's like you'd have to change so much about that ending. The ending would just have to be a different ending at that point. Like for you to get to that point, because they worked with what they had. They're like, okay, we only have this, so let's do this to make up for it. And I think they did a really good job. And I do think Rhea works as a penultimate. It's like, even though graphically, looks like Chronos, but the thing is, I'm gonna be honest, I like how Chronos looks, so it didn't bother me too much that the island was like Chronos.
I mean, both Rhea and Uranus were obvious compromises, but in a vacuum, I think they're still both fun. So.
Oh yeah, design-wise, I don't think it ever got old. Like I think it's like if they design-wise were just, oh, this is lame, I would be very disappointed with the ending of this game. But the ending was fun. So
do we want to get into the story now that we brought that stuff up?
Yeah, let's talk about it. This has been a pretty haphazard spoiler cast. Let's just go for it. So how did it's like we talked about it a little bit before the show, but how did you feel about the story?
Reflecting on it, I kind of feel mixed on it, honestly. After reflecting on it,
for me,
the character interactions were overall really solid, but I can kind of pinpoint the point where it kind of falls apart for me, where it starts falling apart for me, and that is the one Sage scene on Chaos Island.
All right. For me, I like the story a lot. In my opinion, best Sonic story ever.
I mean, I can understand that. Like, I was hoping I'd say the same.
It's like for me, it's the best Sonic story. It's not a perfect story. Do not get it twisted. When I say best, I do not think it's perfect. I just think it's the most actual fucking story than this franchise has had. Because like a lot of people praise Unleash, but that game isn't really a story. It's a beginning and an ending. The middle part, there is no middle. There's no middle of the story.
Yeah.
The game
that was one thing I was worried about going in, that the story would kind of take a backseat throughout the middle chunk of the game, but they did pretty good with some good character interactions and cutting to Eggman and Sage at points.
And the thing is, also with the story, it's like the thing is, with it being open world and there being the first time attempting it, and how the game is structured, because it's so open and like and free of like how you handle a lot of stuff. The story runs at the whatever pace you decide, and if you decide to do a bunch of stuff all at once, and near the end, and like then a bunch of the cutscenes are layered on top of each other, so then it feels a little rush. Then that's on you. But like if you if you play it the way that the game wanted you to play it, which you don't have to, obviously, it's your choice. But like you never can really complain about your choice, now can you? But like it's like if you play it the way that the game wants you to, the story pacing becomes a lot more spread out and like a little bit more. It feels a lot more solid. And the thing is, for me, while there were some things for me that didn't really work on my first playthrough, on second and third on my second playthrough watching the cutscenes, because I actually watched the cutscenes that time, I think I vibed with the story a lot more on a second playthrough, knowing what was going to happen and knowing where it was going. It's like knowing where stuff was going actually worked better for me than not knowing where it was going. Which I liked it when I didn't know it was going, and I already thought it was like better than most Sonic stories, but then I liked it more because I felt it's like I felt having some foresight and like understanding why. Because the thing is like you can easily argue that Sage's bit gets a little repetitive by Island 3. You could argue that like her.
What do you mean?
A lot of people have been complaining that like, oh yeah, like by the third island you're just feeling the slog in the story because it's just like Sage is just saying, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna kill you, bro." But like it's like
Well, but I mean, I feel like I didn't really mind that all that much because I felt over time she would the way she spoke was kind of less antagonistic towards Sonic over time.
the first how it works for me. First island completely antagonistic. Second island, she's still antagonistic, but by the end of it, she that's when she starts formulating her plan that like, if Sonic and Eggman were together, she could save Eggman. If Sonic, because she's like Sonic can maybe save him. Then by the third island, she's really just trying to figure out Sonic. I think one of my favorite bits is the third when the third Titan gets introduced. And the first one she's like leave immediately. Second one she's like I'm gonna just have it attack you. Cause fuck you, I hate you. But the third one, she's like,
what are you gonna do?
It's like, what are you gonna do about it? Like she's asking more questions. She starts
I sense that too.
Yeah, like it's like
also the peak line of what is your end goal, and Sonic's like sometimes it's a spinning sign, sometimes it's a giant ring,
sometimes it's a big ol' ring. No, your end goal, your purpose. And I like it by that point in the story, even though Sonic does want to figure out what Sage's deal is, he is getting a little fed up, especially with him feeling terrible at that point in the story. He's getting more and more fed up with her, even though he does want to help her. Like, cause he's like, obviously she has something going on. I want to help, but she's making it very hard for me to give a shit.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like the thing is with I know what you mean by the Sage. Are you talking about the na 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 na?
Yeah, the fact that it was just sepia tone cutscenes with voice cracking over it kind of cheapened what I think could have been an excellent scene, but
I understand. The thing is, I'm not gonna lie. First time I heard it, first time I watched it, I did go like, "What?" It's like I had to do a double take there. I did not like, you could check my stream. I was like, I mean, I found it cute, but I was like, what? Because it just came out of almost nowhere. And even with the egg memos, like, were you doing the egg memos and with the egg?
I got a few egg memos on Chronos, but I didn't find big on Ares or Chaos.
No.
But I bought all the egg memos on Oranos later.
Oh yeah, because those egg memos are like.
But even then,
definitely
even without the egg memos, I kind of understood what they were going for, because Ares by Ares you kind of understand that.
Yeah, you understand
Sage's Eggman's creation and all that.
And the thing is, I think for some people it's a little harder. It's like, what? This feels like. The thing is, the more I thought about it, the more I was like, nah, this doesn't even come out of nowhere, because like I guess if you've only played the games, and I think this is where a little bit of the issue comes from, is that now the Sonic series is more than just the games. There's some things that, especially since Ian's been writing the comics for so long, that probably just went under the wayside because it's just something he wouldn't be thinking about because it's just a part of the characters at this point.
Hang on a second.
Okay. All right. I think.
Hang on, what were you saying about Ian Flynn?
It's like the thing that Ian Flynn, which isn't a problem, but it's a thing that's gonna happen. That was gonna happen because he's writing for the games, but he's also been writing for the comics for so long. So there's some things about the characters that are just ingrained in his head. And a thing that has been a thing in his writing of Eggman in the comics is that he treats Metal Sonic like his son. Metal Sonic is his favorite. It's like Metal Sonic is his favorite robot. That's his favorite one. He loves Metal Sonic. So the thing is, for him, while he was probably writing, treating Sage like a daughter was probably not too far out of the ballpark for Eggman's character. But if you if you're a casual, or you haven't been paying super close attention to Eggman's character outside of the games for a really long time, you are going to feel, what the fuck? Why does Eggman have feelings?
well, I mean, I feel like I wouldn't personally be too bothered by that because he does kind of treat Shadow like a son in Adventure 2 and Shadow the Hedgehog.
I don't know. He seems more like with Shadow out of fucking. Adventure 2, I think the appeal of the dark story is that they're not together because they like each other. They're together because they all have very specific selfish goals.
I mean, I guess, but
It's like that's kind of like the appeal of that whole dark story. So I wouldn't say they were like that close in that game.
well, maybe not Adventure 2, but Shadow the Hedgehog.
In Sonic X and Shadow the Hedgehog, I would say he treats him closer. At least shows care to a certain degree. Especially in Sonic X. Sonic X...
And Shadow's not even his creation, so, you know.
It's his grandfather, so you could say emotional sentimentality.
I can buy the connection between Eggman and Sage, so...
Oh, yeah, no, it's like, it took me, it's like, oh, that seagull. Oh, those seagulls are flying real slow. Why are they flying so slow? Mm-hmm. Sorry, footage thing. You'll see it in the video if you watch it. It's kind of funny. Yeah. The story... I think does do better for, at least for me, on a second watch through than it did on the first, just having more information. But I do not think it's perfect. I think some things don't land as intended, like the na thing. Even though I think it lands better in retrospect for me because she's humming the song, the song in the credits. She's humming that song. Which, in retrospect,
I kind of predicted that coming. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the same My Destiny motif from Sonic 06. Mm-hmm. I was kind of expecting that, so...
Yeah. It's like, I wasn't really expecting anything from it.
The problem really does just come down to how that was presented.
Yeah, the presentation really did kill that scene, especially since it's showing scenes that we just kind of saw. Depending on how you did the story... You probably just saw those cutscenes like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like what?
Why are we still doing this just substitute earlier cutscenes thing in the year 2022? Like, it's a trope I was annoyed with in Lost World, Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic Adventure 2.
It's like they just they did not have enough. They just and the thing is, I think it would have maybe hit harder if they weren't standing in the exact same place for almost all the cutscenes. If they weren't standing, why? And it's like, when you're playing the game, it's fine that they're standing in the same place, because you get it. They're in cyberspace, he's trapped, this is the area he's in.
It makes more sense than him standing on Green Hill Zone in Forces, at least.
It's like, I get it, but, just... in a montage, it just kind of makes you look and be forced to remember, man, he's been sitting in that one spot except for that one cutscene with the airplanes. But again, you just saw that one. So, so it's not that impressive.
But I think other problems with the story, I think, start popping up on the last two islands.
Really? Because I think that's where the story reaches its climax.
I like the lore. I kind of like the lore, even though it also kind of confuses me with the Temples of Gaia and Sonic Unleashed. Like, sure, you explain how they showed up where they did in Sonic Adventure, but there's also Unleashed. And
oh no, I don't think it goes against it.
Did the ancients build the Temples of Gaia?
Probably. It doesn't contradict anything, because the thing is
was that like a plan C?
It's like the thing is, it's like it's said in the game that the ancients were there before even evolution happened on this fucking planet. Like, nothing was here but them, and they were here like that early. And it's like, so like, you could say that they also built the Gaia temples, and it doesn't break any lore. You just say, yeah, they built the Gaia temple. They found out about the Dark Gaia thing due to their technology and built the Gaia temples just in case, or whatever. Or you could say that, or even without that, you could say, oh yeah, the Light Gaia and Dark Gaia are basically like gods, right? It's like, and so like, you could just say that like, they were already gods fighting each other beforehand, even without people on the planet, like, because like they've been doing this forever. The planet resets, so like, it's like, you could say that like they've been doing this forever, but the only thing that was in contention with back then was the Master Emerald, because the Master Emerald is an Earth thing. The Master Emerald comes. The Chaos Emeralds are extra, which is you could make the assumption that the reason why the Chaos Emeralds are so special is not they were always really powerful stones, but their connection to the Master Emerald, which they were never supposed to be in contact with. The Master Emerald just happens to be another mythical rock that enhances the power of the Chaos Emeralds, and the reason why the Chaos Emeralds are so special is because it's in contact with the Master. Even if there are other emeralds in the universe, they're nowhere near as powerful as the Chaos Emeralds because they don't have a Master Emerald. It's so you could say that's what makes Earth special. That's what makes this place so special. Is that there was It's while other planets may have gotten Chaos Emeralds or other mythical devices like the Soul Emeralds in Blaze's dimension and stuff like that. There's always some mythical 7 things, but only Earth had the Master Emerald, and that's what makes it special.
Yeah, so, but I think the lore dump was not my problem. That was fine.
Oh yeah, no,
I think a couple of my problems were, one, the whole Sonic getting fully infected. That's kind of instantly resolved. I feel like it would have had more weight if they added a line about how if Sonic failed, then Tails, Knuckles, and Amy would be stuck in cyberspace forever or something.
The thing is, I think that's
that's what happened, but they don't say it.
It's the thing is, I think they don't say it, but they also have Sonic sometimes say when you're running around, he does say stuff like, yeah, it's we gotta protect the world from everything, or yeah, man, Cream's never gonna forgive me if I don't bring you back, Amy. It's I can't let it. The thing is, he does a lot of that on the last island when you're running around. But even without that, the thing is, I don't think Amy, Tails, and Knuckles being stuck in cyberspace forever is the least of their worries right now, because they're actually safer in cyberspace.
That's kind of another thing about why I think Rhea could have benefited from being the last island, because having the entirety of Varanus Island after that deflates the tension a little bit.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely does. It definitely does. That's something I can't even blame the story for. That's just oh, well, now we're just kind of faffing around.
A lot of my issues are things I don't know if Ian Flynn can really be blamed for them, or if they could have been circumvented, but if he had more creative control. But at the same time, what I do think is that it's probably not a coincidence that a lot of my issues pop up on these last 2 compromised islands.
Fair enough.
And can I get to my last issue?
Oh yeah, sure. Go for it.
I simply think the End is not a very good villain.
Oh, really?
They're established as the destroyer of worlds or whatever, which is par for the course for Sonic, but there's no real establishment of why. There's no real motivation or characterization. With Chaos or Merlina or Razor Jin or whatever, you could at least understand why they're doing the things they're doing. I'd even argue Black Doom was better characterized. Well, I still don't understand anything about the End, and it was set up as some kind of twist villain, which is predictable, but the problem is that it doesn't really have much presence throughout most of the game.
Really?
I just felt like it dumped a bunch of information on you during the tutorial and was kind of only sparsely there throughout the rest of it until the end of Rhea.
The thing is, for me anyway, the reason why I think the End works perfectly fine as a villain, while not it's not a character, but also it's not trying to be a real character. I
think the thing is that I think it could draw comparisons to Dark Gaia, but first of all, Dark Gaia had a really cool design and actually felt super cool taking him down. But also, Dark Gaia didn't really have any dialogue.
What I was about to say about the End is that the End is a pretty good a trope that really works in video games of the tutorial guy is the big boss. It's like that's the real bad guy. It's like the voice in the sky. And I think the thing is with the voice in the sky, the reason why I think the reason why I think it works, and like even though it's not like super, it has male and female voice while it's talking, so it doesn't really matter. They have a very specific. What's the way to say it? It's like they work for me for the reason of they are a primordial being that is a force of that it's supposed to be a force of nature, and I'm not 100% convinced that it's not coming back. I'm not 100% convinced that it's dead. Because one of the things it says in its boss fight is that
it says it's immortal.
Forget it being immortal. It says
I am infinite.
Nah, okay. Besides all that,
gonna stop you now.
Besides all that, it says even if you defeat this form, that does not mean you've beaten me or something like that. Says something about those.
I mean, we do get the post-credit scene where it's implied Sage is coming back. So
It's like, and the thing is, Sage. I have a theory, huge fan theory, not confirmed at all. But my thing, which is fun, because I haven't been able to have a Sonic theory ever in the entire time I've been a Sonic fan, because, there hasn't been anything to worth making a theory about. But anyway, so, it's like, but like, now that I can do this is fun. But like, I feel that Sage might have some of how Sage died. She died with the end. She died inside the end. And the thing is, when she shows up again, she shows up with the Eggman. Obviously, went into cyberspace to grab some of her like personality data or whatever. Went in and tried to grab what was remains of her in cyberspace. The thing is, what if let's say Sage sticks around and shows up in the next game, and the end is still inside of Sage. When Eggman pulled Sage back from death, he also pulled the end back. That's a fan theory. That might not be where they go, but it'd be cool, right?
I guess my problem can be encapsulated by the fact that it's literally called the end.
But that's so cool! It's a primordial being, dude. It's like I think why I like it so much. It's like the reason why I like it is because it's so it's not a character. That's kind of the point. And like as it says, it's like you have fought gods and machines. They were finite. And then like it's not a real.
As you're fighting it in Ikaruga with what feels like victory lap music.
Dude, I love that music though. This track is like one of my favorite tracks. Like, I was listening to that music before the game even came out. So for me, it hit. That music hit.
They just casually dropped that music during a standard combat trailer.
They did that with I'm Here, remember? That was just in the Switch trailer. And it was like, man, this would be some cyberspace music. No, it's the main theme.
Well, I know it's one theme, but it's like the theme of the game, but...
It's like, that was a little worse. That was just as bad, actually, I think. But yeah, no. The final confrontation with the end, and like the end being like just a giant. People go like, "Why the fuck is it a giant rock?" Apparently, did some digging. In Japanese culture, that would be like the equivalent of fighting an angel. Like for them, like fighting the moon, like fighting a moon-like being like that. That would be the equivalent. We're not Japanese, so for us that's a little bit lost on us. But
although I guess we did get Solaris, so
Solaris, we did get Solaris,
which looked like an actual angel, but
yeah, Solaris was interestingly designed. I don't like Solaris's design. I think it looks like ass. I think its first form looks like ass, and I think its second form looks like ass. I even when I was a kid, I was like, "What the fuck does it look like? It doesn't look like anything. It looks so fucking weird." I don't like it. I never liked Solaris. I know that it's like I know I'm in the minority on that one. But like the thing is like with it's like with the end, I feel that its thing with being the end, like it doesn't have a name. It's not a personality. It is a thing that it's a world eater. It's like Galactus from Marvel.
Uh, Not really.
Okay, well, there's a guy in Marvel called Galactus. He eats planets. It's kind of just what he does. Kind of his thing. It's what he does. um, and it's like it kind of like made me think of that when I was playing it. I was like, oh no shit, she's just a monster who eats worlds. It's like, and that's is like and they don't want to destroy the world for any particular reason. It's not like they have this world they have a grudge against. Like I love the final. It's like, why do you think you can beat me? 'Cause I was contained once. Just once, like that should hit for me.
Hey.
I really liked that. Yeah, it's like stuff like that. Like really worked for me. Like that whole final fight with her talking shit.
I mean,
really-
part of it could just be that it took me several deaths to make out what she was even saying.
It's like that.
Plus, there's no subtitles.
Yeah, that was an oversight in development. I think they thought, she's audible. She's not as audible as you think she is, guys.
We don't have any place on the HUD to place these subtitles, so just gonna.
But she's. I enjoyed her as an endgame, especially considering like ever since like it got the first cutscene got revealed with Sonic waking up, I always knew that shit. She was the villain. I was like, she's the bad guy. All right,
yeah.
Cool. Like that was like, but also I'm an adult. As an adult, you can see that Merlina's the bad guy in Black Knight. You know, like when you're an adult, these stories for children aren't really gonna surprise you as much. You know, they got to do a little. It's like, but if I was a kid. Tutorial voice. It's been helping me the whole game. because the thing is like you said that it kind of disappears, but at the end of each like it doesn't say anything at the end of Ares. Oh no, does it? I think it says. Does it say anything at the end of Ares?
It does. It does say be empowered with this technique once you save each.
Yeah. It says that for each thing. The first I think on the first island it talks the most. It talks at the beginning and like especially at the end of the first island, and then it talks every now and again in the second and third. But then on the fourth, it's like it really is hammering in tear down the walls between dimensions. Like it's making its point very clear. Man, I'm on the puzzle and I'm terrible. But like it's like, but like, yeah, no, it is. It's like I can understand why you don't like it, but
because all that is just not because I just don't find it very interesting. But
yeah, you don't find it if you don't find it very interesting, you don't find it very interesting. It's like not much to do about nothing, you know. It's like if you don't find it interesting, you don't find it interesting. No amount of like me talking about all the things I like about it is gonna make it more interesting. But like yeah, I like it's like especially considering you're like I don't like the fact that it has a character, but it not having a core character is the best part. It's like we're literally arguing on complete opposites.
I mean unless they like literally reuse the end as a villain, they're not going to reuse this concept. I don't think so.
If they do,
it's whatever.
The thing is, like I said, a lot of I think I said this before, a lot of the goodwill I have towards this game's story is if they follow up on it on a meaningful way. Everything, all the character interactions with Amy, Knuckles, and Tails, that better be followed up in IDW or in the next game. It's like a lot of the stuff with Sage coming back and the end, a lot of that like even if the end doesn't come back, a lot of the aftermath needs to be followed up in the next game. But one thing I didn't like about the story, like actively didn't like and was like, oh, that was a little weak. The fact Sonic didn't say anything after Sage died. As like usually when a character dies like that, even in Sonic Unleashed, there's like a moment at least. At least there's a moment. He doesn't talk to Tails about like, oh yeah, you know, Chip just died and I feel really bad about it. He didn't say that. He goes off. He remembers Chip. He goes like,
he has the bracelet.
He has the bracelet. Walks off into the distance. I did not feel a moment of Sonic pausing and moving on. I did not feel that. If there was just even if it was a moment, because the thing is, none of his friends like Sage. Amy, Tails, and Knuckles all did not really have a good relationship.
He should have said something to Eggman. That's what.
It's like he should, even if he didn't want to say anything to Eggman, because like fuck him, you know, he didn't say anything to Eggman about Shadow and SA2. So like, I don't expect him to go and talk to Eggman about it. Especially considering how Sonic thinks Eggman felt about Sage. Like in one of the cutscenes where it's like he named you, right? So that means he cares about you in his own way. Like he doesn't really have a high opinion of Eggman. So it's like I don't mind him not particularly like mentioning it to Eggman, but at least having a moment by himself, which I think was sorely missing. And I have a feeling it was just that's just down to the ending being a bit rushed. Like the ending being
I'm now imagining a version of the ending where like the credits roll up and it stays on that shot of Dr. Eggman looking at the starfall.
I think
like
that moment did hit.
Like the end, like the credits of Mega Man 04 or something.
Oh damn! I do think that ending did hit though. I think it did hit. It hit the notes for me. I think the ending did hit for me. It was just like dude. It was really strong in my opinion. Ending, like especially with like that part with Eggman specifically, just like I had my reaction recorded on stream, but I was like, damn,
man, it's that Chargers, man.
Damn. I was like, damn, I wasn't expecting that. But like it was a good. I feel like there were good parts about that ending, but the fact I think the ending would have been more. It would have been stronger for me. Story automatically just would have went up by a point, and like by just having Sonic just have a moment in space, or like even after he saves his friends, like a moment like before he like you know at the last cutscene where he's like, so that was fun, right? If there was just a moment right there where he was looking up into the sky for a little bit, you know, and then like it's like having a quiet moment, and then going back into his normal Sonic mode, and then making the joke of like, that was a great time, right, guys?
Yeah. kind of like the ending of Adventure 2.
Yeah, where he's like the one true hedgehog. It's like, so Sonic, what are you doing? Yeah, let's go. The world cool as blue as me. You know, basically, do the SA2 ending again. And the game would have been better, because the thing is, I have a shit ton of problems with SA2's story, but I will say that its ending is so super strong. Super strong. The ending of that game, no matter what you say about the game itself, the entire narrative being whack, stupid, having fucking compromises and plot holes and all that other fun shit that you could criticize about it. The ending slaps. And I cannot say the same about the entirety of the ending of Frontiers. While I think that the story is incredibly more competent overall than any other Sonic game beforehand, I think it does not have as strong as an ending as it could have. I think it had a strong ending in terms of concept. Sage dying to sacrifice herself. I do love the part in the boss that the health bar is still up after the quick time event. So you see that there's a sliver of health, so the thing's going to try and destroy the Earth anyway, and then Sage comes in and does the last bit of health damage to the boss. I love that. That's something you could only do in a video game, you know? I love that. But I do think that they fumbled. They fumbled the bag. They fumbled the bag on the for the way to perfectly bookend the game. Also, doesn't help that the final boss is really easy. Like before the final Titan boss is really easy.
Supreme.
Yeah, Supreme. It's like the thing is, Supreme is not a bad boss fight. It's not.
One comment I saw about how it could have been better is if it like it grows wings at one point. What if it like transitioned from Giganto to a Wyvern type to Night
Yes!
type?
Yeah. If it did something like that, and like it grew, and it used its gun, and then like you had to use the gun a similar way that you had to use the gun in the night boss fight. If it was like if it had all that, then it would have felt like, even though, because none of the boss fights are mechanically deep. None of them. Like the actual mini bosses are more mechanically depthful than a lot of these.
Yeah.
These are just pure.
I actually died a few times to Squid, so.
It's like, goddamn! I thought I was just gonna be quick stepping. But yeah, it's like I feel that it was anticlimactic because it didn't do anything. Like, if that was the final boss normally, or like even that was like one of the other bosses that wasn't the final one, people wouldn't have such an issue with it, you know? But like, it's like, but it's just a slightly harder Giganto, and that kind of, it's like, that's not as good as it could have been, which is really lame. And it's like, it sucks because like, it has I'm Here playing in the background. It's like, I feel like pretty similar to how like Live and Learn is kind of wasted on the end of SA2.
I don't know. Going back to SA2 prior to Frontiers, I actually really dug the final boss, but and part of it is because it sucks so much that it's still tense on future playthroughs.
Really? I guess I played it too many times because for me it's not even tense. So like I'm just like, yeah, I hit the button.
It's so jank. Sometimes things don't work, and you don't know that you're going to win, and that's why I like it.
The jank worked out in the game's difficulty. Oh man, but yeah, no, it really did. It really was a little anticlimactic. I understand what people mean.
Yeah.
I don't think I think mechanically it's one of the more complicated fights, honestly. With the bullet hell aspect.
I couldn't. Like the Supreme. I wasn't even really sure what to do. I thought what you were supposed to do was intentionally get hit back so that it fires the lasers from the turret things, so that you could parry back the lasers, so you could destroy the turrets and finally get in on the boss. That's what I did.
Oh. What I do is that I parry the bullets and destroy the turrets, and then I get hits in, because if you destroy the turrets, then it allows you to hit the boss.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah, it's like, and the thing about, like, mechanically, it's like it's not bad. It works. It's just, man, it's just. Night was so cool, bro. Night was just too cool. They went too hard. Why did they go too hard on Night? Night mechanically and epically was so much cooler, cause it's just like it's like mechanically you parry his shield and shoot it back at him. That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool, dude. It just sucks. It sucks so much that it's just like, no, you couldn't match that energy, because up until that point, the game just kept topping itself. You kept asking, how could they top Giganto? Then they do Wyvern. Then it's like, how do you top Wyvern? Boss. It's like, how do you top Wyvern? Night. Bruh, how do you top Night? We couldn't. We couldn't top Night.
They straight up. What else do we got to talk about?
The shooter segment, good. I think it's good. I think it's hype-wise, it's not as hype, but mechanically, it's the hardest thing in the fucking game.
I mean, the first couple were kind of easy, but again, the final boss took me a few tries. So.
Oh, dude, that shit, like, it was hard. It was hard, dude, and I kept thinking about, like, man, if I was a kid, this would have been this would have been it for me. This would have been of such a memorable moment meeting this boss. It would have been like the hardest boss I would have ever beaten in any game ever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, but yeah, I understand why people don't like it. Not everyone's gonna go like, yeah, bullet hell, and then go like, man, this is exactly what I wanted to do today. But I enjoyed it for what it was. and mechanically
I think
it was
I think
harder.
the hard part for me was when it shot like those horizontal lasers, and I couldn't do it precisely enough to get in between, so I would often die to those
Dude,
lasers.
I still lose a life. I still lose at least one life to it, bro. It's
Hmm.
rough. It's rough. Not because it's
Uh,
even bad, it's just rough.
so
But
what else is there in the game to talk about?
oh yeah, we never talked about some of the mechanics. Combat. We didn't talk about combat too much. Talked about my level 1 run, but we didn't talk about the actual combat. Like, how did you feel about the
Uh,
combat?
uh, mostly positive. I think the biggest thing they could improve would be to like nerf Sonic's defenses, because like I feel like with the parry thing, they should have made it so that if you hold the bumpers, it's like a standard block, and you only activate the witch time if you
Yeah.
time it right.
Yeah, that's what they should have done. The parry is way too overpowered. When I get on PC, the
Hmm.
first thing I'm gonna do is download the Nerf parry mod.
Uh, I think the other problem was that occasionally the button combinations were a bit weird. Like sometimes I'd just homing attack an enemy and I'd suddenly activate some kind of cyclone move, or
Oh,
the
that's
loop or the
because
loop kick or the loop kick or something.
you know why? Because you probably press the boost button and then another button, like circle or X or whatever, and then you just do that move because that's how the game works. It's the 2 button combinations. It doesn't expect
Yeah.
people to be air boosting
I,
into stuff.
I am wondering, do you think the side loop? Do you think they'll bring back the side loop for the next game?
I don't think they will, but that's a shame because I think it was a good mechanic.
Maybe
But I think it's gonna be
maybe they'll use Y for different combat button combinations.
maybe. I think the Psyloop was really good. I think this is them taking from Nintendo by going like, oh, new game, we gotta have a game specific gimmick, and they decided the game specific gimmick this time was the Psyloop. I don't know if it's gonna be. It could be permanently added to Sonic's moveset. It could be. Because the thing is, a thing with the sequel, especially in a combat game that you get to do, you get to choose which moves were good in the last game and then make that a part of the character's base moveset.
Yeah.
And, or at least early unlocks. And then add more new moves.
One thing I suggest in my video is that they should make is that instead of the Sonic Boom, the left trigger should be like some kind of spin dash or roll button.
You really
Like
want
Lost
that
Road.
roll. Really want that roll, huh?
Well, like they went through the trouble of including the drop dash. Why not go all in on it?
Do you need a drop dash and a spin dash?
I mean, it'd be nice.
It's like I want both, damn it.
Like they have a bunch of skips you can do with the power boost, but
It's like
like you need the power boost to do them.
I think all they need to do is just have the boost jump carry your momentum, and you don't need a spin dash anymore.
Yeah.
Because like why it's like you only need it's like the drop. The reason why the drop dash is so useful in this game is because you go faster downhill. That's why it's so useful. It's like if having the spin dash and the boost in the same game makes no sense. Because it's redundant.
Like the boost is kind of nerfed. It
is.
I kind of suggest it because it's similar to Lost World's control scheme.
It would be.
Wait.
I agree. It would be similar to Lost World's control scheme, but like even with the boost being nerfed, I think they make up for it with the blue boost. What were your rules for yourself with the blue boost? Did you just let it happen when it happened, or did you go out of your way to get it every single time you ran?
I think I just kind of let it happen when it happened.
Same. It was more rewarding that way.
Mm-hmm.
It was more rewarding just
and I still got it. I still got it enough times for it to feel meaningful.
Yeah, exactly. I like it. It's like it adds purpose to rings in the world, because besides just your health bar, it's like, why should I have a full bar of rings when I only need one ring to survive? Because don't you want to go faster? That is a good point.
although they probably should have made it so that the power boost, you get it at 400 rings rather than just the max rings.
Mm-hmm.
Because it makes it so that getting higher ring caps from the Elder Coco is actually worse in a way.
You could say that, but then also you get less health. Because it's also your health bar. You're basically saying, I trade my ability to have more health for the ability to go faster, quicker. It's a trade-off. Now, depending on how much you get hit, depends on if that trade-off is a big deal to you or not. You know?
Mm.
But it's still a trade-off. Or how long those supersonic boss fights take. Like, if you're really bad at it, the supersonic boss fights, you might want more rings than 400 because you want a new max.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's all about it's balanced. I think it's balanced.
I didn't get that many. I didn't upgrade my speed or rings that much, but I think I still beat all the Titan bosses on my first try.
Yeah, you don't need your speed to. It's like, well, the thing with the Titan bosses are for your
power and defense.
Power defense. That's how they majorly get affected. Like the final boss, if you have and ring count, just because more time. If you're good, you don't need all that time, but like, maybe you're bad and it's your first time and you're like, oh no, I need time. But okay, so combat. I felt it was really fun. I love being able to cancel all my moves into each other. I love that you could dodge cancel out of like more than 70% of the moves in the skill tree, which is really good. I love that, especially since the combat is very simple. I do like that you can make it complex.
Yeah,
that's what makes it fun.
There's that one video of when a Devil May Cry player gets their hands on Sonic Frontiers,
and you're like, I never tried any of that. I didn't do any of that. Yeah, because I think I've seen like a few videos like that where like Devil May Cry players are like doing all this crazy shit, and it's just like I didn't. It's like the thing is, some of that I was doing, and when I was in level 1, you have to do that. If you can't just be mind dead and like doing it. You will die to basic mooks. Because you die in like 3 hits because your ring capacity is super low and your defense is super low. So you die in like 2 hits, and then also the enemies have so much health. And the thing is, normally in a Sonic game, I'd be like, oh man, enemies have so much health. This sucks. I hate it. Why it ruins the flow. But in this game, since it actually has like a combat system that's fun to interact with, they're not heroes, and I like Heroes, by the way. Before anyone dogs on me, I like Heroes. I think it's a really fun game. But the combat is not the most in-depth thing in the world. It's mash one button and see Knuckles go. All right. The goal is to level up, so you have to do less of it. All right. Let's not forget what this was. But I do think that I think Sonic Frontiers is like, it was a good combat system. I wanted to interact with it, and
it is probably the best I've seen in terms of like integrating a combat system into Sonic's base moveset. Because I've expressed this before, but there's like a certain retention because your quick step is now your dodge. The homing attack is how you get in. Psyloop is kind of a jack of all trades move in this game. Even the stomp and slide can be useful early on.
It's like, I would say the Psyloop is like the Cappy in Mario in terms of the whole game is built around it, you know?
Yeah.
The game would not be the game if you took the Psyloop out. It's
kind of getting into the same game-specific mechanics. It's kind of like Mario the flood or
like Mario Sunshine. It's like, that's a one-time thing. It's not coming back, but it was really good in that one game for that specific purpose. And it's like, which is fine. It's like if the Psyloop never comes back, Rip, I guess, because the only reason he has it is because of his interaction with cyberspace. At least that's the thing is. Did you like pay attention to a lot of the character dialogue in this game? Like in terms of like when it was trying to talk about game mechanics. Like, were you ever paying attention to that stuff?
Uh, I think I remember some stuff about like how the ancients like imprint the map data into Sonic's brain.
Yeah, dude, that was actually like, oh, so literally everything in this game that I'm doing is something Sonic can see. He sees the question markers. He sees this. He sees these are not
Everything is canon.
Yeah, it's like, so these are not just gameplay mechanics. These are all things that are really happening. All right, that's cool. I can vibe with that.
I've been getting a lot of that on my like post beating the game sweep of everything.
Yeah, I did a lot of that while I was playing, and that made it. I think on when you're doing the post game sleep, a lot of it is a lot less interesting, especially when they start asking questions of like, man, how did this happen? Or man, are they theorizing or making things? And then you're like, when you're playing the game the first time, that's just really interesting. You're like, man, it got me thinking while I was playing.
But at the end, when you know all the backstory, it's just kind of there.
It's just okay. It's not like it's bad or anything. It's just less useful to you. It's less useful to the general experience. Well, I think your first time through hearing all that stuff before you even get the answers. Like, if I had to tell anyone one thing about the game, if you plan on playing it, talk to all your friends on the map before you get to Island 4.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we're in a spoiler cast.
I remember I couldn't.
I just realized we're on a spoiler cast, so like if someone's listening and hasn't played the game, they already got spoiled. Never mind. Sorry.
But future reference, I guess.
I guess if I tell someone,
I couldn't get some of them because the memory token counts were a little bit too high. Like I remember there was like the one section on Ares that's like a big lead up to the L Chaos Emerald. Knuckles is right by it, and I was short like one memory token.
One? You just have to go flying. You could just side loop one.
I didn't want to.
I didn't want to side loop.
Probably would have taken too many side loops.
Bro, I can prove to you, right? How many side loops is it going to take me to get one? I'm just going to randomly start side looping right now.
Are you on Ares?
Yeah, I'm literally on Ares. Okay, Heart of Power. Give me a second. We're almost there. There, I got one. There, I just got one.
One other thing while we're doing this, I just remembered when the cutscenes are actually hand animated, they're real.
Oh yeah, but
really
when
good.
but when they're the robot ones, the ones that are like obviously not.
I get why they did that, but I kind of wish they just had more stock animations to pull from.
I think the animations that were there do the job. I think it's like some people are like, oh man, why are they so robotic? It's like, have you played an open world game before? Most open world games look like this when you're not in the big budget cutscenes.
Oh, this is an open zone game, so
okay, open zone game. It's still having a lot of talking and dialogue, cutscenes that don't need the budget behind them. You know, the ones that don't need it. Not because, oh man, you don't want every cutscene to have the same budget. It's like, or they got lazy. No, it's more like in a game, even if your game does have a good amount of time to be made, or has a high budget of staff.
You gotta set your priorities straight.
It's like, and what's more important, the big moments look good, or these small moments are hand animated when they could just be done through just stock poses. And lip flaps. Now, I do think that the lip flaps in this game aren't great. Most of the time, they're fine, but then sometimes the characters will be talking with their mouth closed, and it's a little distracting. And it doesn't happen too often, but when it happens, it's noticeable. You know. And it's like that sucks. But I've seen worse. I guess maybe this is just me playing other games a lot. Like Ghost of Tsushima, I always use Ghost of Tsushima because it's the most recent open world game I played. But it's also a game that everyone agrees is like a pretty quality game by most people's standards. That game has terrible side quest cutscenes. The side quest cutscenes in that game are dog water because compared to like the animated motion captured amazing. They're just not hand animated. They're just.
I might have missed this. Which game are you talking about?
Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, it's like game's a high quality game, but when it's having those moments where it doesn't need that high quality to get by, it doesn't. It's like when it's just, oh, the main character's talking to an NPC about this mission. We don't need a bunch of unique animations. Just use the same stock animations and we'll be fine. I am so bad at
and the stock animations themselves look bad.
They look fine. It's like they're not blowing you away. You're not like, oh shit, I believe these are real. It reminds you it's a video game. But that's like every game that requires you to talk to a lot of people. You can't make every cutscene look amazing. The old Kingdom Hearts games did this thing where...
I've heard the argument that Kingdom Hearts 3 kind of stepped it up.
Kingdom Hearts 3 did step it up, but basically what they did was when it was just a talkie cutscene that like wasn't a real cutscene, like it was more just you talk to the character in-game. What they did was they replaced the dialogue boxes with just the voice actors talking to you with pre-generated lip flaps. You know? They wouldn't emote or anything. They would just and it's like, it's fine. It's like, it's not great. It's not like the best, but I've never seen a game that has a bunch of NPCs that or like a lot of side talking things be fully animated, so I can't expect Sonic to do it. You know? Yeah. Especially if they don't look terrible. They just look fine. Like, I'm not gonna say they look great, but I would say that usually it's just, okay, I believe these two characters are talking. It never looks atrociously bad, except for like when one of the lip flaps don't land, which that sucks when that happens. But oh yeah, we did not talk about cyberspace.
We talked a little about it.
Oh yeah, we just talked about like how we didn't hate it. I got used to the controls, man. I got used to the controls, and once I got used to it didn't feel so bad. And I know that's not a good excuse. They should have been better. They should have been original, but I can't say I didn't have fun.
Yeah. I think the cyberspace stages added more than they subtracted in the long run. Although it is kind of funny how a lot of the ones on Chaos Island are based on Unleashed DLC.
Yeah, no, when I saw that I was like, what the fuck, we're doing Unleashed DLC? And I'm like, these are hard. Not even DLC. It was the extra missions. Like one was like Windmill Isle Act 3. One was
Rooftop Run Act 2, Savannah Citadel Act 2.
Yeah, there was a lot of those. And I was like, bruh, you're killing me with the Unleashed. Yeah, one of them was that drifting stage. But, like,
and that's like the only time they used the drift in the entire game, I think.
That's the one level. And it was just the analog stick.
What they should have done was map the drift to Y, because the Cyber's not going to be used in cyberspace. So
yeah, they could have done that. And but it's like, and the thing is with the drifting in the game, when I first held it in my hands, I was like, oh, this is god awful. This is god awful. This is terrible. But like, after understanding it a bit and like, oh, I literally just have to turn. This is colors without holding square. Oh, I'm doing terrible. But like, it's like, oh, once I realized it was just colors without holding square, I was like, oh, this isn't that bad. It's bad, but it's not that bad. I prefer the Generations drift, but I could deal, I guess. Like, I didn't feel like I wanted to commit seppuku in Minecraft, you know?
Yeah.
But like, but yeah, no, I got used to the cyberspace stages. If you can you think of a favorite?
I feel like they should have. I feel like the biggest theme. my biggest disappointment with the game overall is probably the level theming.
Oh, that was embarrassing. They could have had more.
Like in both the open zone and the cyberspace,
Yes.
the locations don't have the locations in the open. I don't mind the more realistic art style. That's kind of every 3D Sonic game that's not Lost World.
Yeah,
The problem is that there's not much identity beyond grass, desert, volcanoes.
The thing is, what I
And
do appreciate, the thing is, one thing that I was really scared of early on was, will the desert and the volcano be interesting? Because the volcano was looking real gray and the desert was looking very brown. So I was very scared pre-release because they weren't really showing a lot of it. But when I was exploring each of these islands, I was like, oh, what they did was smart. They had basically different biomes within the level aesthetic. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
they had they have the whole ancient ruins with some cyberspace motifs throughout.
And forget even that, just the fact that oh yeah, the volcano looks snowy in certain areas. It's not snow, it's ash, but it looks like it's snow, so it's a visual variety. So does the desert have a lot of oases and stuff like. It has oases and stuff like that. Stuff to look very appealing to the eye, give you a little bit of a break. And it's just like, and then also has the canyons.
They got decent mileage out of the concepts.
Yeah, they didn't just do one thing and then just copy and paste it. They did a lot of effort to make each area, even though it's one level concept, have multiple things going on within the level concept. And I can commend them for that. Because, they didn't... They had to do this. I'm not going to say they didn't have to. They had to. They wanted to make a good game. But with Sonic Team's track record, it feels like a treat. When I'm used to them doing the bare fucking minimum.
but then again, the cyberspace stages, there were only 4 of them, and they could have had more. I don't see why they didn't.
If they were going to... I don't know if they officially ripped assets from gens, or if the people just say that. I don't know if it's official that the assets are literally just from gens.
That's what it looks like they did. A lot of the textures and models and stuff look the same, although some seem to be from Forces too.
It's it's hard to tell.
But at the same time, if they were gonna do that, why not have the White Metropolis or I don't know, Death Egg, Planet Wisp levels?
Maybe because those games are too recent. Because the thing is, you notice Kishimoto only pulled from games he didn't work on.
Like Adventure 2, Unleashed Generations.
Yeah, he only pulled from games he didn't work on.
I mean, now that well, then again, they could have pulled Rooftop Run from Unleashed. They could have pulled other stages from Unleashed. They could have pulled the Ice and Snow assets from Cool Edge or something. I don't know if that game's too old for that.
Maybe. I don't know. It seems like they went with the nostalgia pull. They just went with the nostalgia pull. We know what they did. Azuka said it even himself. He basically said, we did it to pander to nostalgia. Because it's his reason. This is his market reasoning. This is his way of saying it without saying it so that no one gets mad. But people are still gonna be mad. His way of saying it is oh yeah, it's to appeal to old fans who might not like the new shit. So we gave them old shit. And it's dog.
I can respect the idea of using the old to ease people into the new, but for the next game, we don't really need this anymore.
Stop it! The thing is, what sucks is that we've been saying this since 2013. You haven't, but the rest of us have. People were sick of Green. The thing is, people don't remember. A lot of people don't remember, but people were kind of already. People were making Green Hill jokes. Because the thing is,
back in Lost World.
Yeah, because
it was in Sonic 4 as Episode 1 as well as Generations.
Yeah, it was in Sonic 4. It was in Generations. People commended Sonic
third time's the charm, you
It's
know.
like people commended Sonic 4 Episode 2 just for not starting with a Green Hill aesthetic. That was one of the praises that game got.
They actually mix and match stuff.
But like it's like so people were already sick by like people were like, oh yeah, Green Hill 320, because the thing is, it's not like the franchise is not, it's always been using Green Hill. It uses it really, really often. The advanced games have like a Sunset Hill. Like it's like they used it at least once. So like
Near
it's
Green
like,
Hill.
it's like the classic games reused Green Hill a lot, at least the aesthetic. Even if they called it someplace different, people like to act like Emerald Hill Zone is a different level. No, it isn't. Stop lying to yourself. It's the same level.
Palm Tree Panic, Seaside Hill.
Literally, yeah. It's like we've been doing this shit for a long time. Let's not act. It's like, so the thing is, it's not like reusing Green Hill is new for this franchise. It's just that it's been so egregious recently. And it's like, the thing is, what for me, it's like, I'm not gonna act like it's the worst thing ever. It's like, when I see Green Hill, I don't want to barf or anything. But that's also because my childhood game is Sonic Generations. So my favorite game in this franchise is a game of rehashing. My favorite, forget even having Green Hill, it's a game full of fucking rehashes. So rehashing is just naturally less egregious. It's less egregious. It's an issue. I agree it shouldn't happen, but I'm also not going to say that I'm the most mad about it. I'm not barfing every time I see Green Hill and Chemical Plant. I think they should have him in the next game? No. No, I do not. I do not. But am I going to lose my mind of anger? No. I'm just going to be a little annoyed. It's like, because I don't hate how Green Hill looks yet. I don't hate the look of it. They did a good job of updating Chemical Plant to at least look different.
Yeah.
And Sky Sanctuary just looks great in a resolution above 1080p. And I haven't seen it since Gens, and I like Sky Sanctuary in Gens, so Sky Sanctuary is the one that's the least angering. You know?
What about the city?
The city was... I mean, I like cities. It's not the most memorable level aesthetics in the... but...
I mean, I said this as soon as we got the Switch trailer at the end of June. I liked how avant-garde the city level looked, and hoped that the rest of the cyberspace stages would be like that. And I guess kind of.
They kind of did some clever things by mixing and matching enemies to different stages. You know, they did that a little bit. You know, they kind of did stuff like that. I really do think
and a bunch of glitch effects.
Yeah, the glitchy effects. That kind of just wears off. It just becomes background noise after a while. You know?
Yeah.
One thing, though, I gotta ask. What's your favorite cyberspace level? Because because I think I finally settled on which one was my favorite.
I'm still in the middle of the Orano sweep, so I haven't played all the ones on that island. I don't know, it's a little hard. I don't know if I want to pick favorites. There were a couple on Oranos I liked. I'm trying to run through a bunch of them in my head.
Well, I'll say mine.
But I can pick out some favorite music tracks though, and I really liked 3-2's music. 3-6 also had some good music. This game's music was overall a lot better than I was honestly expecting.
Really? It was better than what you were expecting?
I mean, given the open world direction, I was kind of expecting it to be a little generic, but I don't know, open zone themes are a lot more hummable than I was expecting and moody and stuff.
What I like about the
But
open zone themes, sorry to stop you, but like what I really like about the open zone themes is that it's not just one song. As you progress in the narrative of the island, the songs switch up. And once I realized that, I was like, "Oh shit!" Because that was a level
Yeah.
I was like, "That's why the soundtrack's so freaking big," because they just let Otani just
Yep.
do a bunch of shit. And it's like, and even with Aranos, even though they have to reuse, I think they reuse one Chronos theme. They reuse one Chronos theme on Aranos, but most of them are still original.
I think there was like I think they only used a couple, but the first one was unique and
A few
really
of the other
good.
ones. I can't wait for the soundtrack comes out so I can hear all the movements. One thing I wish
Yeah.
though is that once you're 100% of the game, or like when you're running around the worlds again to finish up your 100%, I wish that they changed up the music as you were running around, like just cycled through it instead of playing what
Yeah.
normally plays as the last thing before you leave. But I
Or
think
even,
one of the
or even let you play your own music like Generations.
I don't know where you would fit that in. I guess collecting red rings in the cyberspace levels gives you access to music tracks.
Maybe you'd buy them from Big. I don't know.
And buy them from Big. You know, that could work. That could work. One thing I really did. I really love that. And favorite side before I get into my favorite track from the open world, because we could talk about that in a second. But my favorite my favorite cyberspace level is 4-3. 4-3 is probably the chemical plant one that's original.
Oh, right, that one that had like a bunch of rotating spikes. Was it that one?
No, I think we're thinking of different ones. Because the one that I'm thinking of starts off with like you dropping from the air, and then you could stomp onto a grind rail, and then you could have you played that one?
4-3.
Yeah, 4-3. Maybe you haven't played that one yet, which is fine. But yeah, 4-3 is probably one of my favorite cyberspace levels.
Yeah.
It was
I think we said this earlier, but they really pick up in the last island.
Oh yeah, no. The thing, I will say that the last few cyberspace levels are genuinely good. I like them. They're like, they're. I think they have a lot going for them, and it also makes me just go like, how come the whole game just wasn't this? You guys did a good job. I think the 2D ones are a little weak. But all the 3D ones kind of hit. All of them are at least scratch and itch where it's like, okay, these are like not me getting used to shitty controls and Stockholm syndrome my brain into being okay with it. It's like these are like actually just kind of fun. It's like I've been seeing a lot of people who like really didn't vibe with the game. I go like, man, this game makes forces looks like gems, and it's just like, I would agree. It's like I would agree to a certain degree in terms of like control. Yeah, it controls so weirdly, but once it's like, but again, it's a thing where it's like, damn it.
The
it's
level
like,
design actually requires you to, do stuff.
It's like the level design is better, but like people are usually, when I'm talking about people who are just talking about the control.
Well, the one I was thinking of was 4-4.
Yeah, it's like with the controls. It's like, while I do think they're not perfect and not great, I think what they basically did, I figured out what was wrong with it. What they did was they took the open world control and just slowed it down. Because if you had the open world control,
I feel like it's also where the turning doesn't feel as tight as it does in the open zone either.
You know why? Because they turned down your turning, because then Sonic would be too twitchy. The Sonic that they built for this game, again, the reason why those levels feel good is because they're built around the control for the game. You know? Like that, there's 4-2, where you're in that city level with the turns, and like the jumping through dash rings. Yeah, it's like yeah, you're turning. In that level, turning feels good. Why? Because the turning was made for that level. The other levels that they put you in are made for like the drift and like being able to make unnaturally tight turns. So it doesn't feel good. It feels awkward and janky and bad. I don't like it. But
Right,
like,
so when they're original, they're good.
yeah, so when the levels suddenly get original, it's like, oh yeah, shit, this works. Also, the thing is, rolling in this game is so stupid. It
Like you wonder why they included it.
it's like I like it when it works, but the problem is that explaining it to someone is like, all right, the easiest way to say it is, let Jesus take the wheel. Do not hold down. Do not
Just
hold the
tap
direction. Just tap down and dip.
But even in some of the scripted stuff, it still doesn't seem to work that well.
The roll works in a way where, because it doesn't, it works off of a weird momentum logic of not sonic momentum, just actually momentum sometimes. So then sometimes when you're rolling, you can't go up a loop because at the speed you were going, why would you be able to make it up that loop? You know?
Because well, like the loops are bigger than they were in the classic, so
Yeah, it's like you can't make it up that loop. You have to be running. It's like, but like the thing, and also the problem is that the roll seems like an addition they didn't think too well through. Because if you roll on a spline, you know, because it's 2.5D and it turns into like you transition to another path. If you get on a spline, the game freaks out because it doesn't know where you are. And it's really bad and weird. And I don't like it. But yeah, my favorite is 4-2, but like open world soundtrack, my favorite song is the last song on Chaos Island. It just sounds so mournful and triumphant at the same time.
I think I remember what. I don't know if I remember that as well as the Chronos or Ares ones, but I kind of remember it.
It's like, and I think the reason why it hits for me is because I like Chaos was so dour. Like it had the most dour soundtrack. Like it was very, very underscored. You know, it was very like quiet. Like it was good. It was good to listen to, but it was very quiet. It wasn't really trying to stand out. But then on the last one, they have these trumpets going, just like da na 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 da na, and it's just like damn. I love that one. That one's like it fits so well. Especially considering for Sonic at that point in the story, Sonic would think that his adventure's almost over. He just needs to defeat this one last Titan, and then he could go home. It's like, and then it's all done, but it's...
The only other musical style I can think of in the game is the Titan. It's like, not the Titans, but... Well, the Titans have good music, but the Guardian bosses...
Yeah. Well, you know, let's talk about the Titans real quick. There's something I really not got to talk about. So the thing is, I like the type of music that they use for the Titan boss fights. Because that's the music I listen to normally. Alright? Like... yeah, I know. Most people don't know that or would expect that of me, but that's the music I just listen to. Alright? And I love that type of music. I love the style. But what got me even more excited is when I was listening to it and I was like, man, this singer sounds familiar, but I think it's like it must be but it might just be the 2 Octavia guy, but I wonder if they got someone else to feature on the track. And then I looked into it. And it was Sleeping with Sirens' main singer. And I love Sleeping with Sirens. It's a band I like. And it was like a band I like is in a Sonic game. This is... Worlds are colliding, man. This is it. This is peak. The thing is...
And they even collabed with the singer from Infinite.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Find Your Flame is my favorite. What's your favorite Titan boss fight? Everyone seems to have some people love Undefeatable, some people love the Wyvern.
In terms of music, I don't know. I kind of want to say Break Through It All, but a lot of it does come down to that one bridge being so good.
Break through it all. Yeah, I love Break Through It All. I think Break Through It All is probably my least favorite. Not because it's bad; it's just my least favorite. I think Undefeatable. I mean,
all three of them hit.
Yeah,
so.
All three of them are good. It's like picking. It's like they're all bangers. It's just picking which one bangs the least. You know. And I think that that one bangs the least. Not because of anything wrong with it. It's just that Find Your Flame is so good, and that Undefeatable has a moment attached to it. It's the oh shit. And it's like that's why so many people I've realized so many people love Undefeatable, and it's like that's why. And Undefeatable resonates because it's just like oh shit. Sonic's back. It's a moment you realize Sonic is fucking back. You know? Because especially considering Kronos is pretty low key. Like even with the Cyrus Race levels, the music is all very low key. Flowing Through Time is probably the most energetic track on there. You're kind of going through. The thing is, and I think is for a lot of people, that first Titan boss fight is when they finally realize they like the game. When they realize this is what it was all for. Like, because they're just like, they're going through it, they're going through the motions, and like, I've seen some streamers just go like, I don't know, I mean, it's fine, but then they get to the boss fight and they're like, this is a real game.
I feel like the Titans to me feel like the equivalent of Shrek 2's climax, where it's like, that's pretty good, but there's this one moment where it's just like, how do you even think of something like this?
It just all comes together, you know? It just is like, oh no, they had something here. Like, dude, they were spitting. They were spitting in Sonic Team, bro. It's like Sonic Team, damn. It's like the thing is what like just the entire feeling on this game. The reason why I feel like I'm like even though like I'm fighting, the thing is like my brain wants to get my soul wants to give this game a 9 out of 10. And the thing is, if I keep replaying it and keep not getting tired of it, because right now I'm playing it on this podcast right now, and I'm on my 4th playthrough, having a great time. So it's like if I could keep playing this game, which I did not think was going to have a high level of replayability. Like, I'm going to be completely honest, transparent.
Yeah.
Did not feel this game was going to be replayable. I thought I'd 100% it, and then
I mean, in one sense, it's like if you go back on your save file, there's not much to do because the cyberspace levels aren't really as strong as they are in stages and generations or whatever.
And also, there's the arcade mode, so you could do that. You know,
but going back and through the whole campaign is
going through the experience again is fun. Even going, and again, it's like you don't really like the story that much. I mean, you said you're mixed on it. I don't think you don't think it's bad. You're just kind of mixed on it, right? So
yeah,
it's like for me,
I feel like in terms of gameplay, the game would probably still hold up for me upon multiple playthroughs.
Surprisingly, it does, probably because the thing is, unless you got every single memory token on your first playthrough, there's some platforming challenge you haven't done. And then even if you have done all the platforming challenges, you're going to be thinking of new ways to connect them. How are you going to do it faster? How are you going to find the best route?
I think this does kind of tie back into the collectathon comparisons like Super Sonic 64, because not only do you have to figure out how to beat the stages quickly, but you also have to figure out how to route the whole game.
Which, the thing is, because the game's so jank, which, admittedly, there's jank, but I think the jank actually is a help to the game a lot of the time more than a hindrance.
Yeah.
But the game does have jank, objectively. There's a few things I've been saying that you haven't been here for. I realize this game is... I don't hate collectathons, I just don't like Mario 64 to collectathons. Because the thing is, what this game made me think of, I was like, when I first started doing the Amy mini game with the Cocos. Oh, this is Spyro! I love Spyro!
Yeah.
And once I realized, I was like, oh!
It's Sonic's take on this kind of game.
Yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, and this is Sonic. People are saying Mario, I say the easiest thing to say is Sonic 64, but honestly, in my soul, this is Sonic Spyro. It's a Sonic Spyro game.
Spyro the Hedgehog.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, because it's like once I was like thinking of it like that, I was like, oh yeah. This is like Spyro. You do a bunch of side things into it. It's like you took one of the levels in Spyro and made them a whole area, you know? And it's like, and it just yeah, there's a bunch of things you do, a lot of platforming challenges, little missions, things to collect, and a bunch of other stuff, and it's like, oh, this is good. And it's like, oh, yeah, no, and then I had complete faith in the gameplay style after that. I was like, oh, this shit is going to be fire. It's like, and the thing is also what I love about this game, besides the Spyro thing. Oh, yeah, also another thing, a joke I have to say, this is the, I was saying this is the real Sonic Adventure 2.
you said that before, but
okay.
are you you're just saying that for the sake of the podcast, aren't you?
Yeah. I don't think I've said that on this stream. On this channel yet. But yeah, it's the real Sonic Adventure 2. Real. Follows up on the lore.
I don't know if I would entirely agree with that on a gameplay standpoint.
I'm not talking. It's like it's not because like the mecha levels and like I know it's not like that type of Adventure 2. What I mean is it's following up on the ambition and everything and all the steps, the evolution of Adventure 2. It's a second Sonic adventure.
I think I've said that it kind of feels like this generation's Sonic Adventure or Sonic 06.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Sonic 06, because Sonic 06 did not push the franchise forward. In fact, it pushed it back by like 20 years, if anything.
Yeah.
We did not move forward. We were not out of the hood. We were in fact put into the hood. Sonic was not in the hood before Sonic 06. I
think this is about a good time to wrap things up.
It is. Oh, you gotta go. All right.
I mean, you kind of were summarizing how you felt about the game, so.
Oh yeah. I guess
it's currently a 9. It could waver, but the fact that it is a 9, that I'm getting a 9 out of 10 impression is probably a good sign.
This is definitely one of my favorites. It's like my 4th favorite Sonic Team game and my 3rd favorite 3D Sonic game. That's it's like with an 8 out of 10. And it's like someone's like 8 out of 10. It's like, do you even like Sonic? The only 3D Sonic game made by Sonic Team that has gotten a 9 for me is Adventure. Besides Gems. You know, it's like every other one has been a little below the bar, and even the ones that I give 8 out of 10s to, like Colors and Unleash. And Unleash is a temporary 8 out of 10. I haven't played through the entire game recently. The problem with Unleash is that like it's one of those games that like in retrospect it's always better than when you play it from level 1 and then you remember, oh no, this was not that fun.
Yeah.
It's like this way when you're like, oh, I gotta start from level 1.
I still haven't played it.
Yeah,
so.
You'd have to get like an Xbox to play it. It's like, and then sometimes you play Unleash Project and just play the day stages, and you're like, man, Unleash is a great game, and then it's like, then you remember, oh wait, there was the Werehog, and then some people get sick of you. The Werehog wasn't bad. It's in a game where I'm going that fast. I do not want a secondary gameplay style to not fit the style of game I'm in.
Yeah, and you could argue you could speedrun it, but like even with that in mind, it still takes much longer than the day stages.
Yeah, even if you speed it up, it's like the problem is like a lot of people who say the nighttime stages aren't that long, and you know what? You're right, they're not that long. But you know why? Is when you're not collecting the medals and you're leveled up in strength. Yeah, they don't take that long anymore because you're not. But when you're scouring every level for medals, they take forever, and you don't want. And then after a while, and if you don't want to be there, there's nothing that can make you want to be there more than being forced to collect medals. The medal collecting hurts Sonic Unleashed more than helps it. And then some people are gonna say, "Oh, you're a hypocrite. You like the medal collect. You like doing all the explorative stuff in Frontiers." You like doing all the explorative stuff in Frontiers.
Was like designed around that.
It feels the gameplay loop needs it. You can say, oh, the gameplay loops needs it in Unleash, but
It doesn't
Did
really.
it though? The game could have worked without the metal progression system. Frontiers needs this That's what also is something you got to keep in track for the second one. What are we going to be collecting in the second one? Because in this game they came up with a lot of excuses and a lot of things that Sonic would be doing. What are we doing next time?
I mean, they can always come up with new excuses. Like Spyro 1, you were freeing dragons, and then Spyro 2, you were getting orbs.
Yeah, maybe they'll just have to take a note out of Insomniac's book. Just make shit up. I hope they take notes out of Insomniac's books in the animation department. Man, man, because Insomniac games look fucking beautiful. They got like some of the best animation next to Naughty Dog. And Naughty Dog's animations is like the best video game animation
ever.
But
anything else we want to say before?
But like, like the thing is, this game means a lot to me. More like, and I know you love it more than me, but it means more to me. And it's like not trying to be elitist, but it's just like a lot of what's in this game, a lot of it is stuff that I was kind of asking for post-generation. The fact that there's action in the cutscenes. One of the things that this sounds super silly to anyone, but like one of the reasons I was super excited for Sonic Lost World when I was a kid was because one of the first cutscenes they revealed was the cutscenes where Eggman was in the desert level, you know, where Eggman loses control of the Deadly Six. That's the first cutscene they showed of the game. I thought it's like, and one thing that was amazing about it was that no. One thing that I liked about it was that there was action in the cutscenes, which up until that point in Sonic, there has not been that much action in cutscenes. They're like cutscenes were for talking, gameplay was for action. Those things were completely separate. And one thing that I wish was about Generations, I was like, oh, I wish there was more action in the cutscenes. My favorite cutscene in Unleash is not the opening cutscene, even I do love the opening cutscene. But one of my favorite cutscenes is when Sonic is starting to do his sections in the last parts of the game, like there's this one cutscene where like Sonic just jumps down and he's running and the camera's moving with him as he's running really really fast, and it's in game, it's not CGI. Like when it's like I gotta get down there, it's like, and then it starts the first Sonic running segment, and that's like one of my favorite cutscenes in the entire franchise. Just because it feels so cool, like just like having Sonic jump down and like just start running really well, which you don't do in a lot of Sonic cutscenes. This game delivered on that. It delivered on a lot of that. It was like there's stuff happening in cutscenes. Yes, a lot of the cutscenes are talking. Yes, I'm not gonna deny that. I mean, but when they aren't talking and when shit's happening, it's usually pretty cool. It's like I love that about this. I love this about this game. There's a lot of respect. Like some people are like, oh, maybe they made too many references. Shut up. Fuck you, bro. Fuck
continuity.
I rather have them reference every single fucking Sonic game under them. I rather have
Heroes in Shadow did this.
Heroes in Shadow did it. Nobody complained in those games. Oh no, that was no. Shut up. No, Sonic mentioning Rail Canyon in the desert level with rails makes sense for him to reference Rail Canyon. Shut up. And the thing is, I hate that the thing is like, while I am grateful to the person who put up that compilation of all the references, it like ruined some people's perception. They're like, oh man, it feels like Family Guy. Yeah, when you put them all back to back, yeah, it's gonna feel like a Family Guy sketch. But when you are in game, you don't hear those lines that often. The only ones that are like guaranteed are like the Mystic Ruins line in the first one.
It's kind of the same thing with the Donkey video. He was talking about invisible walls, but I never encountered them, so...
It's like the invisible walls are
when
like...
you're actually playing.
Yeah, when you're not trying to break the game, yeah, no. But yeah, it's like... Yeah, that Donkey video was annoying, but for different reasons. Ugh. But like, it's like the video I did find mostly funny until the ending when he was just like... review bomb the game. I don't think this game deserves to score.
Rip.
But like it's like that was the most annoying part. But oh yeah, let me. But yeah, no, it was It was dreadful. The amount of the lack of action in cutscenes. Like even in the adventure games, which everyone loves to death, and their cutscenes and stuff. What action is happening in most of them? None.
Yeah.
It's like the most action is Sonic and Shadow running, right at the end, and Sonic and Shadow's introduction.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the most action that has happened in a Sonic cutscene in that game. Adventure didn't have anything.
Well,
Heroes didn't have any action in its
I mean,
cutscenes.
I guess there was also the cutscene of Sonic kicking the egg golem,
Oh yeah, I mean
but
that was
kind of the exception.
yeah, it's kind of minor too. It's just Sonic jumping onto it. It's like something crazy. I mean, we could count it. We could count it. It's nothing crazy though. Heroes didn't have anything. Shadow didn't really have anything. 06 had some, but it looked terrible. Like there's like a few times where stuff would happen in cutscenes.
But,
Action did happen in cutscenes in 06. Unleash
or
almost
like,
all the cutscenes are talking, except for like occasional ending actions and the opening cutscene.
colors and gens.
Everything post Unleash was just talking. I mean, Black Knight had action, but it was 2D. All right, like let's not kid ourselves here. But
aside from the one scene in Lost World 2, and maybe a couple scenes in Forces.
nah, bro. Like, I mean, Forces had action, but again, it was all very quick. It was all very minor. They weren't like what I wanted real action scenes. And like I think this game delivered. Like the Giganto introduction alone just sells it for me. You know, the just that introduction of just Sonic got his ass beat. The quick time event cutscenes, which are insane. I do hate the little loading screen that they have to do before you load into one of them, but when they're happening, they're cool. And I really liked them a lot. I like that you could throw the thing. I like the ending cutscenes when when you're defeating the boss. Again, Night is the best thing that this franchise has ever created in terms of pure hype. Fuck the Unleash opening, bro. Nothing was hap. That was just Sonic versus Eggman, bro. I feel bad for the next game. I feel bad because they now have.
It's going to live in the shadow of that.
It's like because the standard's so high. I'm not gonna even act like the standard. The thing is, I think if they do the same shit with like higher quality animations, they could get away with it. But after that, what do you do? What do you do? You already. It's like rip off more anime. I mean, I'm cool with that. Let's do it.
We already ripped off Evangelion.
Evangelion, Dragon Ball Z. Let's do Naruto. I don't know. Do something. I don't care. Just keep the raw happening. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful experience to have Sonic be cool again. And the thing is, it's like I didn't even hate the meta era Roger stuff a lot of the time. A lot of people hate it to death. Like they hate it, fuck it, kill it, burn them in the fire. It's like while I don't find those games very deep, I do not hate Sonic's characterization in colors. I do not hate Sonic's characterization in Forces.
People point to colors as the sort of a downwards out as the sort of a bad direction when Lost Road is right there.
It's like the thing is, it's like with especially with Forces. While I don't think the story of that game's very good, I think Sonic is perfectly likable in that game. There's a few lines here and there that are a little kind of dumb, and like the game's pretty power friendshipy. But y'all niggas like Sonic Heroes, so I don't want to hear that. Oh, but in Sonic Heroes it was better. No, it's the same shit.
Oh,
no, stop it. But like I really did enjoy. It's like I did enjoy Sonic. Like my favorite cutscene in that game which was probably my favorite Roger moment until this game, which had a lot of my new Roger moments to be like, oh shit, that was cool, was when he was shit-talking Infinite. See, Infinite, now we're getting to know each other. Now tell me some other things. Do you like long walks on the beach? It's like, you know, that cutscene, I love that cutscene. I don't know why people hate that cutscene. I don't get it. I really actually just completely do not understand why people
I don't know, maybe they just want Sonic to feel more affected by being tortured for months, but that's kind of a general story of an issue.
And that's so much later, bro. Like fuck off, bro. It's like at that point, let's move on. Even if they addressed it, Sonic would have moved on really quickly. And also, I love the delivery of it too. And people hate it, and I'm like, I don't get it. Y'all are weird, because I love it. It's just like, it's like now we're getting, do you like long walks to the beach? What's the source of your power? It's like you can skip the first two questions if you like. It's like Sonic is fucking around, but he also is kind of low key does not like this guy. And I like that energy that Roger gives. I think it's like I think for a lot of people, the animation doesn't sell it. But like I'm listening to the voice, Roger doesn't sound like that ending. You could skip the first two if you like. Is Sonic talking shit aggressively?
The animation was overall not great, and
yeah, that's what I mean by like the animation just doesn't sell it. But like it just looks like Sonic's just being shit eater. And like it's like, oh man, it's like no, he made those jokes because he's making fun of Infinite's serious demeanor, especially when Infinite still continues to be completely 100% serious, and then Sonic's just like, oh man, but I just gotta know the source of your power, and then proceeds to enter a boss fight. It's like that's good. That's good. That's good stuff right there. It's like, but people hate it because Roger said it. If Ryan said it, everyone would love it and go like, "Oh man, it's so good. This is what Sonic should be." It's like sometimes I feel that a lot of people's bias towards modern Sonic's voice, modern Sonic character writing, especially in is down to the voice cast. I'm not saying that like those games were perfect. Not far from it. But like sometimes those games got hard shit on for no reason. Literally, probably just because they don't.
I think for a lot of people that could paint their impressions on Frontiers. So.
Oh yeah, no, like a lot of people can't get into the story because they just don't like Roger. Some people are like, oh, finally I like Roger. I finally like him. It's like the thing is, there's been a division. There's been a very, very sharp division, and it's kind of funny. There's been a division between the people who, it's like because there's been a large group of people who've been like the adventure fans basically. There's been a division in the adventure fandom of people who've been wanting Sonic to go back to what he was. The thing is, this game is Sonic going back to what he was. He did. They rewound the clock. Oh shit! Sonic!
What happened?
I did one of the ball mini games. But for some reason, Sonic kept the momentum of after I did the homing attack, and you know how they lock your control while the map is opening? Sonic just kept sliding, and he slid off a cliff. You'll see it in the footage. It'll be at around the 2-hour 30 mark. Because that's how long
we really went on for.
It's like you're like, damn it, I wanted to avoid this.
Yeah.
Well, it's a long game, you know. It's a long game, and I still think we didn't talk about everything, but we're probably going to make videos about this game at some point. And these are like our first impressions, I would say, instead of our detailed, well-scripted, well-balanced thoughts. But this game made me feel like a kid. I know you didn't play Sonic as a kid, really, so
I mean, in many ways, I mean, reflecting on it before release, this is kind of what I wanted out of Sonic, for it to feel like I'm going on a journey again.
Yeah, this is what you. It's like, so you got what you wanted. It's like you just don't get the I feel like a child. like it's like the thing is like anyone could go watch my streams and just hear my reaction to shit. And me just being like genuinely intrigued leaning forward, being interested in what's going on. And then even then, even outside of that, just me just going like peak game of the year, best game ever made. It's like just all that. Even though like obviously it's not the best game ever made. We somehow went this whole video without talking.
Feels like it at points.
It's like we've gone through this whole video without mentioning the pop-in, which we. If I'm gonna be completely honest, WoW is a problem. Isn't something that bothered me too much while I was playing.
I mean the Switch version was kind of nasty because all the foliage what popped in, but again, it was perfectly playable. So
it's like the thing is, it's like another thing that I don't think I said, like on this thing that I do want to say.
It's like Unleashed on PS2.
No, one thing I want to say is the reason, another reason why this game hits a weird point for me, even though it's not, I'm not nostalgic for the adventure era too much, even though I did play those games as a kid. I've grown to grow disdain for Adventure 2 and love for Adventure, while my feelings were very opposite when I was a kid. So my feelings on the Adventure games are very, very movable, obviously. So I don't have like strong attachments to those ones. But this game feels like, even with the jank and the pop-in, makes it feel like a lost PS3 game. A lost janky PS3 game, when they were making PS3 games thinking they could do anything, but they really couldn't. Before they realized their limitations. And I'm not even talking about a Sonic Team PS3 game, just PS3 games. Where that console was so powerful and it had potential, but holy shit, no one knew how to use it. And it led to some very janky results. But in turn, it also led to some games that I really cherish as a kid. You know? And I think that's what this, with the jank in this game, it's just white noise. I live and breathe fucking jank. One of my favorite games of all time, while I give it an 8 out of 10, is Spider-Man Web of Shadows.
I mean, again, the game is a bit janky, but I don't find it as frustrating as in something like Sonic Heroes. So works out for me.
Sonic Heroes jank is, man, I love this game, and then I hate this game. I hate everything about it. You know, in the same level, sometimes. Isn't that not an accurate description of Sonic Heroes?
Pretty much.
Oh, this game's cool. No, it's not cool. It stopped being cool. But, oh yeah, your final thoughts. I've been rambling on about my feelings for like way too long. What's your final thoughts?
It has a lot of problems, but I rank it as high as I do because the framework is so good that it makes other 3D Sonic games feel like a errand. So I might have said that before, but
like, how do you? It's like what would make the game a 10 out of 10 for you? Like what would push it that extra mile to be higher?
Better level theming, better integration of the open world platforming, original cyberspace, a better end game.
Well, did you hear that they are adding DLC to this game? They're going to be adding free updates for a while.
I mean, I don't think that's going to fix the issues, but
no, not those issues.
Neat.
The thing is, what I'm hoping for, boss rush and super hard mode. Those are the two things I want. Boss rush and super hard mode. And also more costumes, obviously. But, like, you know, I want a critical mode, bro. Or, like, if they make a paid DLC island, I'll take that too. But, like, this is the first Sonic game I've wanted more of since Gens. Because, like, Lost World, I like that game. But I didn't really want, when I finished it, I wasn't really, like, begging for more. I liked it, and I enjoyed what was there, but I wasn't wanting more. Forces, I wanted more, but not for the good reason. I wanted more because it was like, where's the rest of it?
It's like Johnny said.
Yeah, where's the rest of it? This is not a full game. What were you guys doing? We were building an engine. Why? Why did you do this? So we thought it'd be cool. All the people who made the original Hedgehog engine left though, so yeah, we made that shit from scratch.
I guess that's all I can say for now.
My opinions may improve or decrease. My opinions on Sonic games fluctuate pretty often depending on how much I play them, but I don't usually get affected by hype, so I don't think like my opinions are purely. One thing I hate is a lot of the people who don't like this game. I never got to finish what I was saying about the split. There's a split between the adventure fans who been complaining about Sonic's who Sonic was for a while, and like they have split because then a lot of those people like this game, but then some of them are still not happy.
I feel like I find it kind of funny. A lot of them have rationalized it that Sonic just isn't for me anymore.
Well, which is fair. I mean, I've like not said it publicly, but I've talked about it in the Discord. There are some people who are in this fandom that needed to leave a long time ago when Sonic stopped being for them. Because the thing is, I think even if this game cleaned up a lot, like some people maybe that it's just not reaching the high level of polish that they want, which I think is a little unfair considering the games they like don't have a high level of polish at all. So like it's a little like,
and like
come
it's
on,
a Sonic open world. What are you expecting?
Well, I mean, I would love a polished Sonic open world, but it's also like I'm not gonna get mad or like it's like I just think it's a little hypocritical for your favorite Sonic games to be Sonic Adventure, SA2, and Heroes with the amount of jank those games have. I just think it's a little ridiculous, you know? And they go like, man, Sonic games can't have jank. What? But like, it's very much, it's like, but like, yeah, like a lot of those people, they're not happy with this game. They're not happy. They weren't happy pre-release. They weren't, and now they're not happy post-release. But I also think this game very much is a game that you get as much as you put into it. It very much is a game that you put as much as you get in. If you put absolutely nothing into this game, you'll get nothing out of it. But if you dig into it and like dig into the game, it's like you will most likely, if you're a Sonic fan anyway, you'll most likely have a pretty good time. But you have to actually dig into it, which, you know, maybe for some people is the sign of not a very good game, which is fair. And it's like this game is a huge shakeup for Sonic. There's a lot of classic fans that this game just won't be for. Like Red Hot Sonic fan, like Red Hot Sonic, that guy, he like big Sonic guy, been a fan with Sonic forever, and this is his nightmare. This is his nightmare. He was like, to the point where he was like, it's like, what if the future? Someone asked him in his chat. He was playing it. He was just so frustrated. He doesn't like instructions. He doesn't like exploring. He doesn't like any. He just wants to go in a linear level. And it's like, why'd you buy it? It's like, well, I was given a review copy. If this wasn't Sonic, I wouldn't have it because this game is just not a game that I would want to play anyway. There's nothing that could get me to like it because it's just not what I want. And there's a lot of Sonic fans that this is going to lose a lot of people. Because like even if this game was polished to perfection, it would still lose a lot of people. And it sucks. It sucks, but that's what happens when you move into a new direction. Sega lost a lot of people when they switched from 2D Sonic to 3D Sonic, and now they're going to lose a lot of people when they go from linear Sonic to open world Sonic. How the cookie crumbles, as you say. You know?
Yeah.
And it sucks. I would love if everyone could just sit down and enjoy this game Like everyone enjoyed Mania
on its own terms.
like on its own terms. Like everyone enjoyed Mania when it came out. Not everyone. Modern fans didn't. Like some people who are like modern fans just don't like the classic gameplay style at all, which is fine. You don't have to like the classic gameplay style. It's not required for you to be a Sonic fan. Everyone has their preferences, yo. You know. It's like I prefer boost over any gameplay style. Other people prefer adventure over any gameplay style. Some people prefer the classic. Everyone has their Sonic, and usually their Sonic is the one they grew up with. Like, you're a special case because you didn't grow up with any of them. You just played all the games and just came to your own conclusion. You know?
my Sonic is the one that was Smash. It's the one that was in Smash.
But yeah, everyone has their Sonic that they prefer, and that's fine. Don't get it twisted. If you didn't like this game, cool. If you like this game, great. But one thing I do hate is people who say, "Ah, man, don't shit on people for having other opinions," and then proceed to shit on people for having the opposite opinion of them. And I'm talking about like a lot of the people who are negative, who have been pretty negative about Sonic recently. They're like, they don't want to be attacked for their opinion, which is fair. They shouldn't be. But then they proceed to call you brain dead for having the opinion that you have. They're like, and the thing is, it's like, I think if you are going to be super sensitive and constantly talk about how, like, oh, everyone should be allowed to say exactly how they feel all the time, you have to also watch how you say things. But I don't think a lot of those people do, and that really gets on my nerves. Like, Telekinetics Man. Like the guy. In terms of, like, his video style, he has vastly different opinions of Sonic than me. He doesn't like pretty much any games except the classics and, like, gens. And it's because he doesn't even really like the adventure games that much. But, like, it's like, he loves Sonic. He does love Sonic. So people who are super harsh and critical, but when they love something, I could always respect those people, you know? Not just people who seem like they hate everything. Like, it's like, while, like, I don't, like, hate GemTube or anything, dude needs to make up more positive videos. Not because, oh, he can't make negative videos. It's just that I don't know what he likes. He talks so much about everything he hates that I don't know what he likes anymore. All I know that he likes is Xenoblade, but that's not from his fucking videos.
He should make a Xenoblade video.
He should, because it's just like, dude, it's like he's like, I don't like the new Final Fantasy. I don't like the new Kingdom Hearts. I don't like the new Sonic. I don't like the I don't like the fan base. I don't like the new Smash Brothers. What do you like? You gotta like something. I don't like Pokemon.
The F-Zero video.
I think he made his F-Zero video, but like that's just like a drop in the bucket on his channel, though, right? That's like one video. Like there's like 3 videos I think on his channel that are like positive, and like like 4. I would say 4 videos that are like positive, and those are the adventure game videos, and the adventure games, and the F-Zero
Heroes.
Yeah, the adventure games, I count that as the Heroes thing, because it was a part of his whole retrospective with his 3D Sonic games, before he made his big magnum opus, Sonic Goodbye Forever, which that video is so overdramatic, but still. And it's like, it's very much... Oof. But like, it's like I think he needs to make more videos about things he likes. It's like King K, he's pretty downtrodden about Sonic to the point where he's like, I'm out. Which is like, nah, that's the best thing for you. If the only thing this franchise is going to cause you just to be angry all the time, just fucking leave. Not because I hate you or like, oh yeah, you suck. No, it's just it's best. Why be constantly invested in something that isn't for you anymore? Like, that has just decided to move away from what you want.
It's fair thing to do.
Yeah, it's the completely fair thing to do. It's like, if you don't like it, don't buy it. That's like the perfect thing. It's like it's a great sentimentality. Don't like it, don't buy it. No one's forcing you. Only buy the things that you find cool. Maybe one day they'll appeal to you again, and you'll pick it up. But if you don't like it, you don't like it, and that's fine. Yeah, but like I do like Telekinetics fan. He has a very big habit of grandstanding about everyone should be able to have their own opinion, and that no one should get mad at someone for having a different opinion in them. But
he just doesn't want people to attack him for his own.
it's like, but the thing is, he'll literally say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't like this brain dead movie for babies. I like to have more entertaining, more stimulating entertainment. I like to." It's like, whoa, you can't insult people and then say, "Don't get mad at me," because it's like I'm not attacking you for criticizing this thing, but you are because of how you're criticizing it. You're not criticizing the filmmakers. You're criticizing the audience for even enjoying the film, or enjoying the film or enjoying the game. When you're criticizing, and you can't criticize the audience if you don't want the audience to be upset. You know?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't get that. And oh, why is everyone so mad? Why is everyone so mad? But
I was kind of veering way off.
yeah, that's like way off topic. Maybe I'll cut it. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But yeah, no. The game's gonna split audiences. They're gonna lose a lot of people. There's a lot of people who won't be coming back, especially if they stick with this formula. Even if they perfect it, it just won't be what some people want out of Sonic, and that sucks. But I can't speak for them. I can't speak for them because I enjoyed what I got.
We'll both probably be around for the next.
You've been hearing the rumors about that 2D Modern Sonic game?
I have.
Yeah. Maybe that'll be the next one that we're getting. Who knows? Never know with this franchise. But one thing I do agree with, the criticism that some people do have, is that, like, why are you guys, it's like, why do you guys have faith? Well, like, not agree with, but I understand the sentiment. Why do you guys have faith the next one will be better when Sonic Team has not proven that they'll stick with the formula in a long time? And it's like, well, I trust it because they said so. That's the not because it's like, hey, and if they lied, that's egg on my face, you know?
And I mean, a lot of people like the game, so...
Yeah, the game seems to be doing the best Sonic, most mainstream attention. Because the thing is, while Generations and Colors did review better, look how many people reviewed it on Metacritic. And also the thing is, I
mean, those are orders, so maybe it's not fair.
No, dude. Look at games in that time period. They got higher reviews. It's like then what Sonic Generations was getting. It's not like there's been a vast increase in review outlets in the last like few years. At least I don't think so.
I mean,
but like
I thought Sonic Forces had more reviews than Generations.
No, I think it had about the same. I was thinking it was in the ballpark. If it had more, it was maybe.
I mean, our lovely viewers can check for themselves. So.
I mean, I got a computer. I could check. To the Google, Metacritic, Sonic Forces. Let me look at the most reviewed version, which was probably the PS4. 46 critics. Sonic Gens. 49.
Maybe I was wrong, actually.
Yeah, 49. Gens had more. Sonic Colors had way more than both of them with 58.
Okay, maybe you're right.
And Mania, how much did Mania? Mania came out at the exact same time frame, and I think it didn't have a lot either. Yeah, Mania only had, for the Switch version. Now, let me look at the PS4 version. That's probably the most played. Mania had 70. Yeah. Mania had 70 reviews. Which is about the same as Sonic Frontiers, which Sonic Frontiers has gotten 72 reviews, so it's gotten more review attention than Mania. So this is the first 3D Sonic game to get this much attention from the mainstream critics. Like Forces, the reason why I say a lot of people is like some people go like, oh yeah, of course critics will feel that 3D Sonic isn't very good. The last game they played was, or a lot of people would think that the last game they played was Forces. No, Sonic fans played Forces. No one else played Forces. Normal people did not play Forces. Normal people are playing Sonic Frontiers. You know? That's the difference. Yeah. And so it's reaching outside of its core demographic, and I think that's a very good thing. A lot of people are saying, oh yeah, I haven't played a Sonic game since SA2. I haven't played a Sonic game since SA2. I haven't played a Sonic game since SA2. That's like the most common statement. I don't know how, because if you played SA2 on the GameCube, how come you didn't buy Heroes? I guess that's the difference between a casual and a Sonic fan. All the Sonic fans bought Heroes.
Casuals went stuck with SA2.
And then just never moved. They got it, and then they never did anything with that ever again. While Sonic, that's the difference. You don't buy Sonic. I guess that's the difference. You don't buy Sonic Adventure 2 and then buy Sonic Heroes, and then if you bought Heroes, you're a Sonic fan. If you didn't buy Heroes, you were just casual, and that's funny. That's just very funny to me. And then you just probably heard a few years later, 06 came out and was a laughingstock. It's like, man, Sonic really fell far. Crazy. It does annoy me that, not annoy me, because I know it's an opinion, but it's just like, man, the general consensus is that Sonic series peaked with SA2, and I'm like, but that's because I don't love SA2. I literally think Heroes is better than SA2, so like that's why it's like
It did peak with SA2, don't at me.
I refuse. You're the guy who thinks Mania is better than 3 Knuckle.
Well, it's like, it's always subject to change. My opinions are subject to change. They just didn't.
They just didn't. Yeah, no. But I think it's about time.
I mean, I did put gens higher than Mania upon my last revisit, so.
Yeah. Which is good. Which was the good choice. Gens is better than Mania. It reused all its levels, but it did it first, and it did it in 3D, so it did it with style.
But other than that, I think we've exhausted the conversation.
I think if we really wanted to, we could talk about more, but damn, we've been talking for a really long time. So let's wrap it up here. If you want to hear anything else from us, I might be on another podcast some other time in the coming week, talking about Frontiers. Depending on how some things shake out, I'll talk about more about that when that falls through. And I'll definitely review this game at some point in a scripted format, just not anytime soon. I want to sit on this game. I want all the content to be out for it, and then I'll talk about it. And I have a lot to say. Obviously, we've been talking for 2 hours. There's a lot of positive, not very much negative, but I think the perfect way to describe this game, it's a mixed bag of a game in terms of there's a lot to love and there's a lot to hate, but it depends on how much each of those things affects you. How much did it bother you? Did cyberspace kill it for you? Did them reusing levels reusing assets from Chronos at the very end kill all your excitement you could possibly have towards the game? And it's like stuff like that, you know? It's like those things that are, to me, tertiary, are like, well, it was still fun, or oh yeah, I mean, I guess that did happen, or well, I learned to enjoy it, you know, stuff like that like grew to not be that big of an issue for me, could be a huge issue for someone else. The poppin' especially. If someone says I can't play this game because the poppin' is getting in my way, I can't get mad at them for that because it's there. You know,
It's noticeable.
it's noticeable and it gets it, and it could break your immersion. But I don't get immersed in games, so it doesn't bother me that much.
But I guess this can be said for pretty much any game. It depends on how much value it depends on how much you value each element.
And for me, I love I like the story a lot. I like the characters, which something I may have to clarify is what I like the story not because it's. Some people have been saying, oh, the story's not even super complex. Yeah, I would hope not. Sonic stories don't need to be super complex. The basis of the story is the Chaos Emeralds have disappeared. They were drawn to this island. Why? It's like why? And then it's like once you're on the island, my friends are trapped in cyberspace. I need to free them and find out lore about the Chaos Emeralds along the way and reveal the mysteries of this island. Simple plot, nothing complex. Neither was a lot of Sonic plots aren't very complicated, and nor do they need to be. You get super complicated Sonic plots, you get Sonic 06, and that's not good. And I'm not doing classic 06 gag of, oh, 06, 06. No, but 06 has probably one of the most complicated plots in this franchise while not having the writing chops to back it up. I think this series is at its best when it's focusing on its characters, which are insanely likable. And I think this game is this game did a lot for the characters. I don't think I said this, but this is the first time I felt Knuckles and Sonic were friends. Ever. I've played these games for years. I've never once felt Knuckles and Sonic are friends. This is the first game where I feel like they are friends who know each other.
Some people would argue they're even more than that, but not the conversation.
Not the conversation. But like, it's the first game I felt they're friends. Like, Sonic and Tails have always been friends, but this is the first time I felt Sonic and Amy were friends. This is the first time I felt Sonic and Knuckles were friends. It's like these are things that just have never really been a thing in the games that are finally here. And I hope Sega doesn't fuck this up and then hear the reviews of people going like, oh man, I didn't like the story, and then go like, well, no, back to super happy fun time. No, I don't even mind the lighthearted stories that much, but don't get rid of Ian's character writing because he's too important.
He's really good at it.
Because he gets it. Even though his character writing may not jive with everyone, I've heard people like Geek Critique call Sonic's character very boring, like in this game. Not bad, but just kind of boring, kind of standard. While I disagree, I think his dialogue may not be like the super most snarkiest thing imaginable. I think a lot of his, surprisingly enough, character animation sells it. Sells a lot of the stuff that he doesn't say. Like when he's like,
he feels a lot more alive than in something like Sonic 06.
Yeah, or like in Forces or like Lost World or like it's like I think he gives a lot of personality, not only through his character animation and action, but in the cutscenes that sell a lot more of what he's feeling. Or even when he's not saying anything, like the Supersonic fights, my favorite one, like the Giganta fight, where he just smiles. Right after he turns super. Like, first he's frowning, and he goes like... It's like, that right there. That right there. That's all I needed. That's all... It's like I get it. It's like, that's all I need from Sonic. I don't need him to talk or, like, go on speeches about stuff.
Animation sell it.
It's like, I just need him... It's like, for me to believe in Sonic's character, it's like, is... partway the dialogue, but partway the animation, which is why I also feel like some of the other games kind of sell it sometimes, even though they don't do it very well all the time. I feel that they sometimes land it, or at least get the idea across of like Sonic being a little bastard. And it's like, and I like when Sonic's a little bastard. It's best when he's a little bastard. People who want Sonic to be a perfect Jesus hero, fuck off, please. I hate it. Don't. Don't ever, please. I do not want it. I hate it. Please stop. Sega wants him to be a Jesus figure almost because he never could lose or anything, but like that sucks.
Well, Sega hate. We already established Sega hates
Sonic.
So.
Yeah, that's the problem with this franchise. Fucking Sega, not Sonic Team. Sonic Team's problem has always just been big ideas, not enough time or money to execute them. I think they got the most time and the most money they've ever gotten for a Sonic game. This is the biggest budget Sonic game. And that's sad. That's really sad that this is the biggest budget Sonic game. This probably had more money put into it than Unleash.
I mean, like, it's a 9th gen game, so of course it is.
Yeah, no, but what I mean is, it's just like, it's sad, man. This is it's like a lot of people have been pointing out. It's like, look at Ratchet and Clank, look at like Crash 4, and it's like, yeah, that's the next level. It's like, this game looks good. Do not get it twisted. I think this game looks great. A lot of the time. There's sometimes it doesn't look too good, but I think a lot of the time it looks great. But they could do better. It's not the best looking game on the market. They could make it look better. I know part way the reason why this is like this is because they have to make the game for Switch. Sonic sells best on Nintendo consoles, so they have to make some compromises. Certain things can't be high quality because, you know, then the game won't run. But, yeah, next time, I love their expanding Sonic team. I don't know why Sonic is being treated like a AA franchise when it's a AAA brand, you know? And it sucks.
Well, I don't know how much money Sega has, but...
They have enough. They have enough. But, like, I think, it's like, I don't think it's unfair for Sonic. Like, some people are like, bro, Sonic fans are asking so much. It's like, I don't think so. I think it's fair to ask Sega to do just a little it's their mascot. Put the most into it, you know? Put everything on the line for it. All that money you're funneling into that stupid super game that nobody's gonna play. You know, like, you've been hearing about that.
Sonic Frontiers 2 gonna be wild.
Yeah, but they keep talking about like, oh yeah, we're making a super game, and it's like, I think what they mean by super game is just gonna be a live service. They're gonna make a live service game, and it's gonna suck and not be very good. Just like every other fucking live service.
And we're gonna have another Force Sonic where there's a massive layoff.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, this time it won't even be from the Sonic brand's fault. But I just do not have any faith in that super game. Because Sega as a company, I've had to come to terms. Sega's a terrible company. They are a terrible company that hire very talented people. They're really good at hiring people. Terrible at running their business. And I think the reason why is because they're not a gaming company as much anymore, as the resort side. Remember, because they combined with Sammy. So a lot of the people who are up on the higher ups don't work on video games. So they don't give a shit. You know? I think the Sammy thing really broke Sega. Sega was already stupid before. But like now they're stupid and corporate. Before they were stupid, now they're corporate stupid, and that's worse. You know, I'd rather have a company blow their load on some stupid next gen technology that no one's ready for, and then nobody fucking buys it, than whatever the fuck is going on at Sega right now with like release Sonic games on the lowest fucking budget that we could get away with, without people realizing the con. But, one thing I can say, I haven't made a self-deprecating Sonic fan joke in, a week. And that's good.
It's good.
That's real good. We talked so long, I almost beat the second island. I've only been playing for like 3 hours.
You think now would be a good time to cut it?
Yeah. Thank you all for listening. If you listened to our 3-hour-long conversation, that probably still didn't cover everything. We probably still missed something pretty important. Something that, like, we're going to realize 2 minutes later after I stop this recording. We're like, oh shit, we didn't talk about that. But...
I mean,
but
I'm sure we'll talk about it eventually.
yeah, we all have our own channels. Yeah. But I had a great time. I'm happy to be a Sonic fan. I mean, I think this year's been pretty good.
Pretty good.
Sonic movie, I gave an 8 out of 10. I know a lot of people had a lot of problems with Origins, but I found it a pretty satisfying collection.
I appreciate what they were trying to do with that one.
It's like it's like basically almost every Sonic product this year has been an 8 out of 10, which, like, someone will go like, that's terrible. Isn't this supposed to be one of your favorite franchises? Shouldn't be delivering on the bangers? Yes, but shut up.
8 out of 10 games can still mean a lot to you.
Yeah, considering some of my favorites are not 10 out of 10. Like, the best game I played this year is definitely between Elden Ring and Spark the Electric Jester 3. Those are the two best games I played this year. And the game that I'm going to still probably call my favorite is this one. It's
cool.
Yeah. So, wrapping it up there.
Subscribe to Iggyminious.
Yeah, subscribe to Iggyminious. Great content. Sorry I haven't been uploading in a while. School's been really hectic. I haven't been able to stream.
I'll probably make some sort of Frontiers video in the near future.
Yeah, go check out his thing. I won't be making mine, so definitely watch his. He's definitely going to be more positive on the game than me. Or maybe the thing is we just have different standards for what our ratings are. Well, and like you actually dislike more. You dislike more than me, but like.
I am probably more positive on the game than you. The video's purely going to be about criticizing it. So you know.
It happens.
for the sake of improvement, I mean. But.
Yeah. It's like work on the sequel. Well,
see you then, I guess.
Yeah, see you then. See you. Hopefully the next Sonic game is good. And the thing is, I think, something that like a lot of people have been saying that I'm like, yeah, I'm probably gonna do the same. I'm gonna be way less up the game's ass when it comes out, like the next game. I'm gonna be way less up its ass. Of like looking for footage every 2 seconds, trying to scramble for information. Because last time it was like, is it gonna be good? Is it gonna be good? Is it gonna be good? They're not showing enough. It's like is it gonna be good? Is it gonna be good? It's like, and I think that may have hurt a little bit of my experience with the game because like but it didn't fully because like one of my biggest worries of the game when it initially came out was like when it was coming out was like, did I look at too much pre-release footage? Am I going to be able to know where everything is before I even played it? And when it came to Chronos, kinda yeah. I kinda knew where everything was already just from seeing enough pre-release footage. I kinda had a good idea and a good mental map of what the first island looked like. And it sucks a little bit, you know? I didn't get to experience the game. And it's like, and I think I'm just gonna watch official trailers. If it's not an official trailer, I'm not gonna see it.
I mean, I don't think there will be as much info coming out as Frontiers, so.
I think there probably will be. Knowing Sega, they're gonna do the same. The fact that they did the same marketing for Forces as they did for this game shows that they have no fucking shame.
But
Sega, next time, have someone play your game in a fun way. Because I think everyone who got a hand on this game and did the route from the IGN video realized that he just wasn't playing it very funly. He wasn't boosting. He was slowly walking around. He wasn't drop dashing down hills. You know how cool people would have felt a little bit better if they showed Sonic drop dashing down a hill? Even if it was revealed that the momentum was a little bit jank, people would have felt a lot better about the fucking game.
I agree. but I still feel good about the game, and that's good enough for me.
And I think when I download some PC mods, I'll definitely
Even
even more positive on the game. Curate it. It'll be like Sonic Lost World, where like Sonic Lost World's a
the
7 out of
improvement
10,
mods.
but if you get the improvements like an 8, it's like that. At least for me, it increases tremendously by a point, 1 point. But yeah. Everyone who was watching, have a great evening, or morning, or great afternoon. This is a long video, so this video probably transitioned between times of day if you were listening to it all at once. I know you weren't, though. Some of you were probably listening to this while you're sleeping. I hope you have terrible dreams. Bye.
What?